So, hello, everybody. I hope that you are doing well this fine Sunday evening. I know that I am busy as usual, but nevertheless, I am Demetra K, and I'm sitting here with Donovan, the recovering Democrat Sadiq, also known as the Black Yule Brenner. Last Sunday, we were not here because I was very ill. I'm still recovering as we speak. Hopefully, I don't have a coughing attack because that's what I've been having the last couple of days. So if I laugh too much, yeah, it's probably going to be disastrous. So we're going to keep our fingers crossed. But nevertheless, the purpose of the Demetra K Show is to promote Black love, knowledge, and understanding of all things that go on in the Black community to make us an even better people with the emphasis on even because we are great people, but we can always strive to do better. I'd like to say a big giant thank you, hello, and welcome to YouTube, X, and Facebook. You are the other side of the conversation. Not only are you viewers, but you are family and participants because we, from time to time, share the link so that you can come up and ask a question, voice your opinion, whatever it is. I ask two things. One, that if I do not know who you are, I have not seen you on here before, please show me your face. If you have a picture in lieu of you, live and in living color, so that way I can verify that there is no shenanigans going on underneath that picture. Also, please keep it pertinent to the conversation. If it is not, what you want to say is not pertaining to what we're talking about, please do not come up here. Also, I ask if you have said the same thing a copious amount of times, do not come up here, as we want to give everybody else a chance to speak their opinion, letting some new, fresh blood, if you will. We appreciate the others that do come up here. I don't want to be remiss in saying that. So today we're going to be talking about the situation with Tyson Foods. Tyson Foods being the largest meat and poultry manufacturer in America. They are facing a boycott due to some things that they did, and I'm going to get into that in just a few minutes. I want to acknowledge those who have came on here just so far, and then I'll give it to Donovan. Let's see here. We got Brogu, how you doing? Mike Nice, what's going on with you? Corey, how are you doing? So I absolutely hope those Americans workers soon. Michael, what's going on with you? And let's see here, just going down. Tawana, how are you? Chalk Chick, how you doing? Long time no see. Brother Don, thank you so much, my great moderator. Clifford, how are you doing today? Avenge the Ancestors. Jev, what's going on? Yeah, I'm feeling a little bit better. And the nighttime comes, that's when it starts to hit me the most. DSB, how are you doing? Easy E, I hope you're doing well. And Kels, how are you? Black women stand up. Black women stand up. How are you in art? What's going on with you? And Quincy, shut up, Donovan. How you doing, Donovan?
I'm doing great. Hey, it is 3 o'clock or 3:12. That means it's Demetra K time. Welcome back, you guys. Thank you guys for, I just want to say this to our co-hosts. You guys are just like dedicated. I mean, I really thank you guys for taking the time and, and the dedication to come and sit down with us and have this conversation and see what's going on. So you guys already know the routine. We have a banner at the bottom if you want to give 100% of a donation to the content creator. That is how you do it. If you go through YouTube, which we also appreciate as well, the content creator only gets 60% of your donation. So I would recommend using the banner and using one of those ways to do that. Also, do not forget to download the African Diaspora News Channel app. Guess what happened today? It was announced today or early this morning. Africa Command in Niger, $100 million of your tax-paying dollars was paid to make a runway and an airbase, a drone airbase in Niger. And Niger said, you know what, United States, get the hell up out of here. We don't want to do it. So how can we take an airfield with us? We can't. So they stopped that. Your tax dollars just went to make an airbase for the benefit of another country. And I'm not saying they're wrong in kicking us out, but I'm saying who is making these deals and can't follow this stuff up. So again, how did I know about that? African Diaspora News Channel app. That's just how I'm finding out what is going on in the diaspora. Right now in Haiti, the Port-au-Prince port, the port that is there are under attack. The police are trying to maintain order and reestablish that neighborhood from the gangs and stuff of that nature. The Kenyan police force has been paused because they don't want no more parts of what's going to happen in Haiti, even though the United States is taking your tax dollars and is going to commit another $50 million for the Haiti situation, right? But there's no boots on the ground. How did I know that? The African Diaspora News Channel app. So if you guys want to know what's going on in our diaspora, to me, that is one of the best ways to do it. Do what I did, take a year subscription. That way you don't have to worry about them hitting you every month and stuff. And, because, sometimes y'all go to the casino and you're a little short and you get the overdraft and all that other stuff. Just do the year subscription and you don't have to worry about it, right? I'm just saying, trying to help you guys out. So again, you guys rock for sitting in with us. We really appreciate you guys. And trust me, we do. Demetra and I do talk after the show about some of the things that you guys do say, good or bad. And I'm going to tell you, we learn a lot from you guys that make us go and do our homework. So keep up the good work.
So yes, indeed. So hello to everybody that came on here. Can I borrow a feeling? How you doing? Says no paid benefits. Migrants won't talk back. Less pay, a win-win for corporate America. All right, so let's get into it. So Tyson Foods, again, which is the largest meat and poultry distributor in the United States of America, have decided to lay off, or fire, not even lay off, right? But fire almost 1,300 American workers in their Iowa plant. Now, it is said that there's a few plants that have undergone some firing. And those other plants are in Virginia, Arkansas, Indiana, and Missouri. Now, to this date, Tyson has hired about 42,000 migrants, and they're looking to hire 42,000 more. And they're going to pay them $16.50 an hour to work there, in addition to paying for legal fees so that they can deal with immigration stuff. They're also going to get a benefits package with healthcare and things like that. And on the facilities and these Tyson plants that are going to hire the migrants, they will have a daycare. They will also get help with housing and just a copious amount of other things. And so, of course, we know that there's been a lot of asylum seekers, migrants, immigrants, whatever you want to call them, that have come into the United States, I should say, since Joe Biden and Kamala took the White House. Joe Biden has an open border policy. Of course, that is juxtaposition to that of former President Donald Trump, who had closed borders under the Title 42, which was made during the pandemic, that said that no one can come into the United States due to the surge of the virus at the time. And so their borders remain closed. Of course, when Joe Biden came into office, they opened those borders, and you guys have seen what is happening. Some people have called it an invasion, because there's just been a lot of migrants coming in to places like the Texas southern border, where you have a Republican governor like Greg Abbott that's like, great, now that you're here, get on this bus or this airplane, and you're going to go to the democratically ran cities and or states that have championed for these open border policies. So they have been shipped to places like Chicago and New York, just to name a few. And so Tyson Foods, they have went on a recruitment, if you will, to places like New York to find migrants to go and work in their various facilities. Some of them even went to their facility in Tennessee. So, of course, let's go to Iowa. That's where the latest firings, if you will, is a pork plant, Tyson there. So they laid off almost 1,300 people, and the town only is Perry, Iowa, to be exact. The town only has about 8,000 people. So obviously that makes up a good amount of the people there. I'd imagine those 1,300 people or so, that money went into some of those 8,000 households. And so that obviously is going to dilapidate the economy there. That is set to take place in June. So, of course, a lot of the workers said that they were surprised, like they were called into, I guess, the break room or whatever it was that they conjugate. And they thought they were just going to have a meeting or something. And then they got the notices basically saying, yeah, y'all going to be up out of here, by June. And so they said they were very hurt and scared and all of that, because people been working there for like 33 years and, plus and all of that. And so they got that notice. So, of course, those things, the word of that spread. And I should also say that the CEO, Donnie King, that's his name, donated to campaigns like that of President Joe Biden, Nikki Haley, and a few others. But anyway, so the word of what Tyson Foods is doing and has done has spread. And so American people are calling for a boycott. Now, Tyson, they supply food to a whole bunch of restaurants like Chick-fil-A, Taco Bell, and things like that. They have a whole host of products that American people eat. I would imagine if you buy and make chicken, you probably have bought, some chicken legs from Tyson. And they even have other meats like pork and things like that. So people are calling for a boycott because they are going along with this Smith theory, if you will, that see, you guys were saying that we were making up stuff, but no, that we, the American worker is being replaced and they're doing it with the migrants. Now, somebody said on here that the migrants won't complain, this, that, and the other. And that has been said, that they kind of go along to get along type of thing. That may or may not be the reason that they're doing it. But now that we see a conglomerate like Tyson doing what they're doing, and we know that the CEO has delved into a bunch of campaigns, if you will, to me, it almost begs the question as, are they in cahoots? Is that the reason that they're one of the reasons that they're letting so many migrants come in? And if you think about what Donovan mentioned, along with Haiti, of course, you guys know there's a very severe uprising going on there for a whole host of reasons, including that of the ex-president, I should say now, Ariel Henry. He did not want to have a re-election. He was stating stuff like, oh, well, we need to make sure the elections are fair. Of course, he took the job after Jovenel Moise was assassinated. And so, if you will, like rogue gangs, if you will, by a guy who's leading by the name of Barbecue, he's like, nah, we want the government to be, different or whatever. So anyway, with all that unrest that's going on over there, a lot of Haitians may try to come over here. But you got people like Ron DeSantis is like, he's sending troops out into the waters off of the Florida Keys saying, I bet you won't. If y'all see somebody coming over here, you turn them around, right? America has now went into Haiti and they're evacuating American citizens. They're like, you got to show a passport if you're coming up over here and getting on this plane. But it's like, that ain't what you did with the Afghans. With the Afghans, you got the American people up out of there and you let Afghans get on the plane. But anyway, nevertheless, there's a lot of stuff going on here. But, Haitians won't be coming over here getting no jobs, but everybody else is getting a job. They call them the asylum seekers. Right now they're sanitizing it. But if anybody needs to seek asylum, I think it should be the Haitians, right? Of course, if you know the history with the United States and Haiti, that goes back all the way into the 1800s, even until, modern day, the United States, along with France and Germany, have helped destabilize Haiti, taking control of their money, leaving them in a bunch of debt and all that other stuff. But the Haitians won't be working in Tyson food plant, will they? But all the other asylum seekers are going to be working there. And then you see people like the Chinese, right? You see them at the border and they say they are actually the most now that's coming over here. But when you see them in these videos, they're clean. They look like they've eaten. They look like they've had baths. And they got the latest everything on. It's like, what you running from? You know what I mean? But again, Haitians won't be able to come over here and get no $16.50 an hour job and benefits and all that other stuff. And, American people. Now, of course, they're calling those jobs the undesirable jobs that nobody really wants to work. I'm going to keep it a buck with y'all. I don't want to be, digging in chickens and pig asses either. So I concede that, you know what I mean? That's still a little bit of the Tylenol up in there. But that's the state of the situation. But I want to say this before I give it to Donovan. I see a whole bunch of people come on here, and I promise you I'm going to say hello to everybody. You who have been voting for the Democrats, and I'm going to put myself in that. I was a Democrat back in the day. I ain't been in a minute, but I was back in the day. Donovan's a recovering Democrat. And anybody else who's voted for the Democrats, you have all made that possible. We know that the Black voter is the biggest help to the Democratic Party. They cannot win nothing without Black people. So we have helped them do that. And so I don't know how many Black people in Perry, I guess I should have looked, how many Black people will be out of a job? How many Black people are going to be out of jobs everywhere due to the asylum seekers? But you have yourself to thank for that, because you have helped the Democratic Party open these doggone borders, bring in everybody and get resources that you cannot get. Blame yourself. Well, how you doing?
Yes, indeed. You took my talking point right off the thing. We can talk about this all day. You guys are seeing what's going on in real time. What are you going to do about it? Now, Emmanuel's back, and great to have you back, Emmanuel. Emmanuel says he will continue to vote as a Democrat, and that's his right. We're not taking that away from him. Hey, if that's what you want to do, you go right on ahead. But right now, if you guys think it is bad now, What do you think is going to happen in 4 years if the Democrats get reelected? The Biden administration gets reelected. They're going to do more damage to where it's going to be unrecoverable. And then the Republicans are going to take over and continue to do the same thing. So it doesn't matter which party, we're kind of in a trick bag. It doesn't matter which party we really deal with. But the fact of the matter, we do know this. Trump gets back in there, he's going to close that damn border. We know that. That's his policy. He's going to close that border. So what is more advantageous to us? To let the Democrats continue to open the borders more and more and more and move us right out? Because isn't it funny how, and Dimitri and I, and you guys have seen it. Dimitri and I get into it on this platform about where Black people are in this social economic system. We're at the damn bottom. But we've got those people that want to pat themselves on the back. Oh, I'm doing so well. I'm doing great. Oh, I'm doing this. I'm making 6 figures. That's all good and great. But how long do you think it's going to take once they get rid of the majority of us before they come after the minority of you Black people that are making all that good money? So that guy that's making $17 an hour working at Tyson Chicken that just got laid off, how long do you think it's going to take before they come after your $100,000 once they've done the damage to the majority of us? I'm the only nigga out here in my house. I'm the only nigga out here. I'm the first one on my job. Don't you guys see what's going on here? That's why we have to stick together, regardless of what our social economic status in the life. The bottom line is we got to accept reality. We are at the bottom. And there's no other way but up, but we can't get up unless we stay together. 13% of the population, according to the census. We know that's bullshit. But the bottom line is that's the number they gave us. But we're 60% of the homeless population. That doesn't even add up. Unless, of course, there's a systematic system by the government to genocide Black people to be homeless, poverty, and at the bottom, and basically in slave status. I've said on this show many and many a times, 70% of Black people are either below the poverty line, at the poverty line, or just above it. Because if that wasn't true, why are we panicking? Why are we panicking? I don't care what numbers you throw at me. Reality is what you see outside. Now, these people in wherever they're from are getting relieved out of their jobs. They're taking our jobs from us. They're removing us and gentrifying our areas. Our homeless thing is going up. They're cutting government benefits, for everybody. But the point is that still affects us directly, right? You tell me if this isn't a direct attack by the Democratic Party in conclusion with the Republican Party against Black people. You tell me. Tell me what it is you're seeing, because that's what I'm seeing. I can't see it no other way. It ain't France. It ain't Russia. It ain't Mexico doing this. This is the Democratic Party in regards to Black people. So let me hear what you guys got to say about this. But before I go, it is the Biden policy, a Democratic president that has done more damage to Black people in his 50 years in Washington than any other politician. It is the DHS policy that recently came out that when Haitians are coming into the Keys and stuff in their boats, they are to be returned immediately. That is the policy. Everybody else could come in, but the Haitians are to be returned immediately. And I'm going to say this. I don't necessarily agree with the policy the way it is, because it is targeted. It's a targeted policy. But those Haitians need to go back and stop running from their country and go build it. So I'm kind of in agreement with that, because, hey, you can't let the Clintons turn that half of the island into a resort for the ultra wealthy. They have a country. You go back and you fight for it. You can't continue to keep fleeing. So that's my 2 cents on it.
And hello to everybody that came on here. Marjorie, how are you doing? Yeah. And so I looked, the population in 2020 of Black people in Iowa was about 3.8%. It said it was about 399 Black people in Perry, not Iowa, but Perry, Iowa, which only has about 8,000 residents. So it's not a lot of Black people there in Iowa. So I'd imagine it probably wasn't a lot of Black people working at the plant. And maybe, I don't know, it was all 300 Black people working there. I don't know. But the Hispanic population is about 31% white, 62%. So it's more Hispanic there than Black, just so you know. And thank you to everybody who donated. And let's see.
And you know what the funny thing is, Dimitri, we're from California. So we've been seeing this for a long time. I mean, this is 40 years in the making for us. For 40 years, that's what's been going on in California and the border states. These people are coming in, taking jobs, moving us out. So, it's amazing how now everybody else in the Midwest and stuff is now like shocked at what's going on.
Right. And Black America, thank you for your donations as well. Panther Strike, thank you so much for that. I love and appreciate you. Somebody was asking, Kira, I think is asking about how to get the membership. Somebody gifted donations. I don't know how to receive those. I guess I have to look into that. If anybody knows, I love and appreciate you for that. And Panther, you say, Queen Demetra, where
just
are
use
those?
The Cash App. Just don't worry. Just use the Cash App.
You say, Queen Demetra, where are those Democratic shields now? This is only the beginning, as Donovan said. When we say no more by revolting by way of local politics first, we are attacking those who harm us. Absolutely. And it should be local politics. That's the ones that have the biggest effect on us, right? Your judges, your sheriffs, your city councils, and those people, those are the ones that have a real direct effect on us. All right, so let me go back. And yes, as far as what you were saying about Haiti and them needing to go back, yeah, I get that they should, and that sounds like what they're trying to do, right? Take control of their country, because it sounds like even now, United States is trying to help put together election system that's palatable for all, whatever. But it's like, nah, you've already meddled in it. And I think we also need to be honest in that the United States has helped Haiti become what it is. And so them coming over here, like I said, if anybody should come over here, it should be them. Now, I know the United States government has been complicit in destabilizing a lot of governments, but Haiti, most definitely can stake that claim. And so they are doing that, right? So will they allow them to make their own processes over there? I know Barbecue, the gang leader, I don't know. Sounds like he's pretty intense. A lot of people have lost their lives and been injured over there due to the violence that has gone on. But are they in some regards doing that? Are they trying to make it the government that they want over there? And should they be able to do that?
And you got to remember, what are the two main claims that they could actually come over here for? Humanitarian, because of the earthquake that happened, and political. Their president was assassinated and there's no police force. And here's another thing you guys might not know, but a lot of you guys do know, because you guys are really, really good folks. It was the United States that demobilized their army. Haiti does not have an army. So you don't have an army. How do you keep peace if the police can't handle it? United States.
Yeah, and we know that Haiti did it once again during their revolution, if you will. So it's not like they haven't been successful in toppling white supremacy, if you will. So will they do it again? I don't know. It remains to be seen, right? Tawana, how you doing? So this is why they convinced American workers that the unions were the problem. Without representation, they can't just fire American workers. Correct. I totally agree with you. And let's see here. Akiva, I hope I said that right. How you doing? Michael, what's going on with you? You say all being done by design. Yes, a lot of people are saying that. Timothy says America's absolutely showing us exactly what they think of us, and we seem to like it. We don't seem like we don't understand it, rather. And how you doing, by the way? Let's see here. And Will, how are you today? You say, is that right, Dimitri? Patrolling the seas? Good luck. Yeah, that's what they're doing out there in Florida. Ron DeSantis basically saying, yeah, we're going to make sure they don't get up over here, because they're talking about, oh, there's going to be this Haitian invasion coming over. And people are like, yeah, we haven't seen no signs of an invasion yet. So, Ron DeSantis is kind of putting a little bit extra on it. Not to say that they won't try to make their way over there eventually, right? Rosalind, how you doing? You said I talked about this topic today before in my channel. We are being replaced, folks. All right, and check out Rosalind's review, her page, you guys. Check it out. Anybody else have a page on here? Put it in the comment section. Say subscribe to my page on here. All right, let me skip on down so I can catch up. Emmanuel, how you doing? Okay, Donovan pointed that out. You will continue voting Democrat 8-ball side pocket. How you doing? Just say hello to everybody. And T, How are you? Says Tyson and Purdue have been doing this for years and years. I saw somebody else say that Kara was one of them. I live in an area where the poultry industry is booming and illegals are taking all the jobs that used to be all black. Yeah, and Lisa and someone else was saying that they're truck drivers and they've seen that unfolding for years now. So it's nothing new. We're just kind of like hearing about it. I guess maybe because they're talking about hiring 42 more additional asylum seekers. So yeah, it's very eye-opening. Hey, Lisa, how you doing? Long time no see. Hope all is well with you. Rosalind say you stopped voting for the Democrats years ago. Hi, Cube. How are you doing? You say Chinese illegal border crossers such as spies went to Chinatown. Honey chick, how you doing? Long time no see. Internationally known. You said, I just love you. Well, I just love you too. Let's see who else is on here. Cosmic, how are you doing this evening? True Essence, what's going on with you? Emmanuel says if Trump gets reelected, forget having rights. What rights do you have now? Put it in the comment section. Tell me about all the rights you have that's working for you as a Black American. Tell me all about it. All right. Alfonso, how you doing? Chicago News, what's going on with you? Says 2024 Black people wake up. The United States of America has put Black back to the early 1900s and 1965. I guess I could see that. I mean, we weren't really that far from it anyway, but I guess I could see what you're saying. And Chalk Chicken says couch 2024 and beyond. A lot of people talking about voting for the couch. Basically, they're gonna sit home and just watch the returns.
No, wait a minute. No, you can't do that because if you don't vote, that's a vote for Trump. Don't do it. So Demetra, could you break down why that is a silly statement or thought?
Because in that same vein, why couldn't you, as I say, if you're sitting on the couch in 2024, and that means you're not voting, why couldn't that also be a vote for Joe Biden? Why does that have to be a vote for Trump? Because what that says, and y'all got to really listen to what people say. Oh, if you stay home, that's a vote for Trump. If you don't vote, it's a vote for Trump. What they're really saying to you is that's supposed to go for Joe Biden. You Black people need to stick out your arm, go to the booth, don't ask no questions, and vote for Joe Biden. Okay, sitting on the couch means you're voting for Trump. It's basically saying all Black people, you are expected to vote for Joe Biden. So really think about that, okay? Couch means I'm sitting home. I'm not voting for nothing but my ass on these cushions. That's what you're voting for. All right. And Rahim, how you doing? I hope you're doing well. I want to catch up, you guys. So I'm going to skip down a little bit, acknowledging everybody I've not seen on here. Lynette, how you doing? From Montgomery, Alabama. I hope all is well. Timothy, you crazy. Talk about rip black people, 1919 to 2024. Oh, my God. I hope not. You also say 1619 to 2024. Is that what you meant? Okay. Wow. Okay, let's see. Michael says immigrants and migrants are against cash reparations for foundation of Black American descendants of slavery. Yeah. And allegory set forth. How you doing? Says also called wealthy American Negroes need to listen. He talking good. Absolutely true essence. He says, I hope Trump remains true to his word and close the border. Well, he had them closed. He didn't have them open. He had them closed. And that was Joe Biden that did away with Title 42. So, William, how you doing? He says, boycott Tyson. I need to hear there with the boycott. I mean, I don't really be eating chicken like that anyway. But my thing is, I guess boycott is fine to send a message, but you can really boycott by not voting for the people who make it possible for Tyson to have such a wealth pool to draw from, if you will, of the asylum seekers. It's that simple.
And then why don't we think about this, you guys? Just think about this. Why do the corporations, even when they're caught over and over again, they continue to hire the migrants? Because the penalty is so damn low. It's more advantageous for the corporations to just pay the penalty. So why aren't we holding the administration in power, be it Republican or Democrat, to really stick it to these corporations that break the laws?
I think I'm about to start having my coughing attacks. Oh my God. I was doing so well.
Well, go ahead and drink or something like that. But that's something to think about. You guys think about it.
Read the comments.
We have these agencies in service, but it's ineffective. It's ineffective. I mean, in California, they've been whole busts of these corporations going on, right? And they get rid of all these people. They send the people back overseas, whatever. And then within 2 weeks, 3 weeks, they've got a whole bunch of new illegal people working in the same plant again. And the government knows this is going on. It's just a cycle that they do to support, so the taxpayer, it looks like they're doing something in trying to stop it. And they're not. So.
All right. I think I might be all right. Oh, all right. We're gonna do it as long as I can. Okay, I promise. Honey Chicken says, Dr. Claude Anderson predicted this but no one believed him. Now it's happening. He sure did. Yes, he did. All right, so let me skip down a little bit. Akiva, you said stop with the not too many black people in Iowa talk. I mean, there's some, if there's one, there's black people in Iowa, right? And I misspoke when I said Iowa, I meant Perry, Iowa. So it's about 8,000 people, about almost 4% population of black people. So forgive me for that. Hello, Brother Thunder. How are you doing? I hope you are doing well. All right. Marjorie says, and the white supremacists are going to work their way up to eliminating the black middle class first by cutting jobs, first hired, keeping it real. Daniel, how you doing? If I didn't already, says the Democrats are causing black people a lot of harm now. Will we help them do it? Let's tell the whole story. We helped them do it by voting for them, right? Quita, how you doing? I hope all is well. Okay, I think I read that one already. Ooh, I'm behind, but thank you once again. All right, so let me skip down. Dan, how are you? Hope you're doing well. Marjorie, thank you so much for the super sticker. Love it. Appreciate you for that. And Easy says more Hispanic in the entire state of Iowa than black folks. So I don't know if it's Iowa, that could be, but I meant Perry is what I meant. Perry, the actual city. So forgive me for that. Just skip it down. Wow, William, how you doing? He says, hey, beloved, they do this to every blue collar job. Well, they're going to start doing it. I fear. Emmanuel, he says, if you peel away votes from Dems, who gets in office, Trump, all of people, a person who doesn't care for African-American issues. I mean, none of them do. Now, you keep, touting the Democrats as if they care about you as a black man. They do not. They don't care about you as a black man. I'm not saying the Republicans do either, but the Democrats don't. I mean, what are you doing here? I don't know. All right, skip it on down. And Brandon, how you doing? Says universal basic income is needed for many Americans. Jobs outsourced. American jobs are being replaced by immigrants. And yes, Andrew Yang was actually the one that was talking about, I think it was 2020 when he was running, if I'm not mistaken, where he was talking about the universal basic income that would give Americans, I think it was like $1,000 to $2,000, 18 and over, a month. To help survive, and they could do whatever they want to with it. Was tax-free. If you were getting, government assistance that didn't affect that, or your Social Security, any of that kind of stuff. So yeah, I totally agree. A universal basic income is needed, and it can obviously afford it, right? They being the government, because they're giving away so much money to everybody else. They're funding wars and things like that. And you got American people who need that money. So I agree with you. Let's see, Wani's World. He says, at this point, who wants to vote for any party because at least they are supposed to show dignity, some type of intelligence, but no, they act like fools arguing back and forth with one another. Absolutely. Thunder, you say, why are Democrats not yelling about the immigrants now? Looks like Democrats and the CBC are only interested in white Hispanics and or white immigrants. That is the second time they did this. Good point. Panther Strikes, she says, not hating on Haiti, but when their ancestors handed them the keys to freedom after the 18 revolution, but the West being comprised of France, Germany, and the United States, they got, a little bit more muscle than them. And of course, they go in there and do what they usually do, lie and wiggle their way in and take control and leave everything dilapidated and be like, what do we know?
Yeah, and you also got to remember, once Haiti won their freedom, remember, slavery was still going on around the world. They didn't want that to spread. So all these nations isolated, didn't even recognize Haiti for like 40, 50 years. And then when they did recognize them, they made them pay for their revolution. And they didn't really pay that debt off until 2020, sometime in the 21st century. They didn't really pay that debt off, but it was so exorbitant. It was crazy.
Yeah, and the debt was old, like I said, France, Germany, and the United States got them in a lot of debt. It's a mess as to what they did to Haiti. It's criminal, actually. Shirley, it says DJ Donald J. Rump. Okay, you say it will close the borders, but not to whites coming from Europe, Ukraine, Ireland, and many other white countries. Yeah, he has made that comment. The S-hole countries. He didn't want people coming in from over there. But when he was president, the borders were closed to everybody at that time. So he did make that statement, though. So you're right. Brother Don says the West, damn America wants their Haiti gold, oil, and iridium. All right. And Debbie, how you doing? Says barbecue and the other two groups are saying no whites. Aha. See, now we getting down to brass tacks here.
Right. And if you guys watched again on the African Diaspora News Channel, that's right. That's why I watch my clips. Barbecue said, if notice the United States does not want to go back in there because we destabilized that place so many times. Now, remember the last time the United Nations went into Haiti, you had mass R's going on. Girls were getting pregnant. Cholera broke out. It was a mess. The Clintons built that resort with your donated dollars for the Clinton Foundation. They built a resort for the ultra wealthy rich. So Barbecue said, remember, there are no gun manufacturers in Haiti. So how are they getting the guns? The guns are being smuggled in from Florida, United States, into Haiti.
Allegedly.
Who is doing that? Who is doing that?
We're going to say allegedly. We're going to put allegedly on there.
Well, I'm going to say this. Most of the guns, because I'm a military guy, are American made. These aren't AK-47s, whatever. So allegedly, if you use your common sense, how did those guns get in there?
That part. And Quincy, thank you so much for the donation. It says that even if it's mostly white people that got fired, that's still wrong. It should be a class action lawsuit. So yeah, that's what they're saying. That what's going on with Tyson could mount to a lawsuit because it's discrimination. If you're firing good people who don't have any, problems at working or anything like that, and you're hiring asylum seekers, yeah, that could very well be a lawsuit of discrimination. And once again, thank you for the donation, and for everybody else that donated. Thank you so much. And let's see here. Your average logical thinker, how you doing? Said this is extremely disheartening to learn. Yes, indeed. And Willie says you bring in the news at Demetra, a lot of research you do. I try to be as accurate as possible. I'm not always right, but it ain't on purpose. But I try to do a little bit of research so that I could teach you what I've learned, and I learn from you guys as well. So absolutely. All right, skipping down. And Thunder says, amazing. He's a warlord when melanated, but he's a freedom fighter, a resistance fighter when he's white. Things that make you go, yeah, absolutely. Talking about barbecue. So I need to learn a little bit more about this, Mr. Barbecue. Jimmy Shirazer Zaire or something like that is his name.
Shirazé. Come on, you took French. It's Shirazé.
Yeah, Shirazé. I said it right earlier. Shirazé. Barbecue, okay? His name is Barbecue. Blue Exodus, how you doing? Says this is insane. Yes, indeed. And Aroa, how you doing? Says there are some interesting times ahead. Oh, you think? Oh, we ain't seen nothing yet. You're absolutely right, though. Yeah, right, Corey. We don't have any rights. And Lady Lemura, he says, well, we know which media outlet he listens to. Okay. And don't need no man. Stop telling me I do. How you doing? He says, JW, don't vote. Okay. And Kerry says, if I don't vote, you don't vote. If you don't vote, you don't vote. It doesn't add up or take away from Biden. Yeah, but that's assuming that you should vote for the Democrats as a Black person. That's right, what that means.
They can only count the votes that are cast. That's it.
Correct. Emmanuel says, Southern whites been voting for GOP since 1960s. What's the difference? Yeah, but the Southern whites, but not all whites. They're not saying Southern Blacks just vote for the Democrats, or Blacks in California. They're saying all Blacks, all you Blacks, you need to vote for the Democrats. So yeah, we know Southern whites typically vote Republican, but guess what? You got whites in the North and whites, in wherever else, they vote their interests. There are whites that are Democrats, that are Republicans, that are independents or non-partisan, whatever. Are there whites that are predominantly one party or the other? And I don't even know the information, but Black people are expected to be a Democrat. Why? Why are we held to such austere measures? Do tell. All right, let me skip on down so I can catch up. I'm so behind. And allegory of set forth how he says, Black melanated African truth and identity has been stolen. We are revolutionary soldiers fighting for our humanity every day, all day. Easy says, we all know that Haiti is about to be permanently in U.S. control. That is a speculation that they want to make it into some sort of a paradise, right? But to Donovan's point, how do they have American-made weaponry? How did they get that? They're worried about an invasion of Haitians coming over here. Might they be worried about what is being sent to Haiti? I'm just asking questions. I don't know. And JLJ, how you doing? Says, no, it ain't. No vote is a vote for nobody. No Democrat, not Democrat, Republican, Green Party, Bachelor Party. The only party I'm riding with is the Couch Party. There you go. And that is the truth. But that's that, technology that they try to play on Black people. Well, if you don't vote, it's voting for Trump. What if I wanted to vote for Trump? You mad at me about that too, huh? Yeah. All right, so let me skip down. And Clifford, how you doing? Says America is a corporation and they protect corporations. Remember the bailouts and the savings and loans corruption in the 80s and the 2010s too, right?
Yeah. And you also got to remember the history of the United States. We took over Hawaii for the corporations and the pineapple corporations and stuff like that. They sent the troops over there to do that. Haiti and the Dominican Republic in the early 20th century, they were occupied for 10 to 20 years. I think the Dominican Republic was occupied for 10 or 15 years, and then Haiti was occupied for almost 20 years by U.S. Marines. So we have a really long history of supporting these corporations and destabilizing these governments when these governments do not want to play the game.
Yeah, so and how you doing, Samuel? You say Demetra and Donovan says Dr. Claus spoke on this years ago and now it's happening in real time. Yeah, absolutely. This stuff has been going on for a long time. But I asked this question earlier to somebody other than what happened in January 6th. When is the last time Americans just got crunk? Said, I'm sick of it. Boston Tea Party. I don't know. When was it?
Well, I would say the Civil Rights Movement, but what did the Civil Rights Movement teach the next generation? I don't want my baby to get hurt. Don't you get in them streets, baby. You don't need to just make it home. And that was the problem that has proliferated. It was okay for them to go against their parents and fight for what was right. But when it comes to the generations after them, they don't want us to get hurt. They don't want us to fight. Black Lives Matter, unless, of course, it's a Black on Black life. There's so many things that is just so messed up within our community. And at the end of the day, we suffer. Again, my question to you guys, because you guys are very smart people, analytically thinking and all this other stuff. We are seeing them destabilize our community. And I know we don't have communities, whatever, but Black people in the United States, we see this is going on. What are we going to do about it at this point? What can we do about it? We have no place to live. And now they're throwing us off these pitiful ass jobs. Everybody's got a degree, master's degree, and they want to pay you $11 an hour. What are we going to do about it?
Yeah, so I know the Civil Rights Movement, but I'm talking about when it really just set it off. Like they do in other countries.
Yeah. You talk about pre-Civil War, just those rebellions used to have like the what was it, the Cook Rebellion, and I think George Washington sent somebody out to put down some planters that tried to rise up and stuff. Yeah. And then wait, Civil War, General Lee. What's his name? That tried to free the slaves.
Succumbtious.
No, Brown, John Brown.
Oh,
and they hung his ass. Yeah, tried to do a slavers.
He was abolitionist.
Yeah.
Thunder says, DK, for us folks with radios, do you want me to say what website to go to so they can find their local transmission? Yeah, because I go on like YouTube and listen to them teach how to work it. So I actually need to continue going on there so I can learn how to work it. So I can say, Thunder, I'm over here, help, I'm hiding in the bushes.
Well, I don't know, Demetra. I don't know if you saw on Facebook, you guys that see, and I say this to all my ladies out there that are leading their families, and I'm not against it. It is what it is. People are arming themselves for the election. I was just at my shooting range, and of course, I'm an average shooter. I'm not like crack shot like DSB on here or something like that, trained killer. But if something goes down, and I'm on Demetra all the time about it, getting her something. She's right there where she could walk into the store and walk out the same day. Get her a little something just in case.
Yes, indeed. Jebby says, Demetra, real quick, for Donovan, why is Jamaican government, along with the U.S. and her cronies, making the decision about Haiti's future?
Okay, I can tell you why. Have you heard of things like NATO, the European Union, CETO? This in the Caribbean, there's an organization similar to that where these nations, they all work together for their region and stuff. And that's why they're getting together and making like decisions in regards to the region. So that's like it's like the what's that, the G20, the G8 and all that other stuff.
Yeah.
It's the same type of concept.
Mr. Coffee, how you doing? He says, not allegedly look up Obama Fast and Furious. So I'm aware of that, but I'm saying now, they're saying that's what's going on. I don't know if they found any evidence of that yet. So that's why, just for my purposes, because believe it or not, I could be sued too, right? I don't want to be sued by nobody. I have to put allegedly in front of and behind certain things. So if that makes any sense. All right. Demetrius, how you doing? He says all those whites got fired will get jobs elsewhere. The blacks will be out of work. It's a devil's strategy. I mean, that may or may not be true. Black people, as the Honorable Elijah Muhammad said, Marcus Garvey said, up you mighty nation, accomplish what you will. Honorable Elijah Muhammad said, do for self. Dr. Claude Anderson said, we need to practice group economics, and a whole bunch of people in between, right? Carter G. Wood says, with the miseducation of the Negro, talk to Black people about, hey, being industrious, re-revolutionizing the things that we already use. Stop depending on these folks, if you will, to feed us. Because anytime you depend on anybody, especially the community, like our community depends on everybody else, whether we are going to work and getting a paycheck to feed us. And so as long as we're in that situation, we're always going to be at risk on being on the chopping block. So we got to learn to do for self. I mean, it's been told to us so often, do for self. Nobody in that White House is going to do for Black people. And if you've read Communist Manifesto, it talked about that politics is just a distraction from the bigger picture at hand, and that's capitalism. All the things we argue about, racism, politics, this, that, is all a distraction from the money moving above us, right? The bourgeoisie, that's the class, right? The 1%, they're moving all this money and all these decisions and stuff, and they leave it for us, I don't even know if there's really a working class. Well, let's call us the proletariat, right? Because that's what they call us. They let the proletariat argue amongst each other about the things that I mentioned, right? And we think we have a say-so. And you're this, you don't like me because I'm Black and you're white, blah, 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 Democrat, Republican. We argue about all that other stuff. And the bourgeoisie is like, yeah, look at them. Yeah, they distracted. We making all these major moves and they don't even know what we doing because we got them thinking they got to say so. We telling them to exercise your right to vote. They going to go to the booth and think they really controlling something, which we really controlling it because we know money controls everything, right? And what does it say in the Bible? Money, money solves all things or answers all things, right? So it's true in the real world. Money solves all things. Money makes the world go round. And for us, the proletariat to think, oh, well, I gotta say something. Democracy's in danger. It's bullcocker. Okay, wake up.
And think about. I'm glad that got you something about democracy, ladies and gentlemen. Hillary Clinton won the popular vote by 7 million votes, but yet she didn't become president. So if we're in a democracy and she won by 7 million votes, why do we have an electoral college? So they don't want the regular person to choose who they want to be the leader. Do you see how that works? How are you in a democratic system that doesn't apply democratic principles?
Right. And Andre, how you doing? I hope you're still here. I know I'm behind, excuse me, on the comments. And saying, wow, news is coming, shaking my damn head. Next, I bet you they're going to be lowering the minimum wage all across the nation. which the national minimum wage is $7.25. My Lord, how much lower could they go? But you never know, right? Maybe they will. Nobody can survive on $7.25 an hour, though. But you might be on to something.
Well, think about this too. Why is it that we are so accepting of a CEO of a company making 400 times more than a average worker? What kind of programming is that? 400 times more than the average worker.
Right. A Ball Side Pocket says suggesting the herbal teas like throat coat. You know, I got some throat coat. Every time I think about that, right. Don't make me laugh.
I'm thinking something else. What?
It's a tea called, oh my God, my head.
I'll take your word for it.
It's a tea called throat coat. But I will admit, every time I think about that tea, I'm like, they could have named it nothing else. But then maybe that's because we all have dirty minds. Yes, I have all of that. Yogi tea, which is good. It's a little bit on the expensive side, but it's good. He said other natural cost suppressants and prescription throat moisture. I'm coughing. That wasn't allowed. Throat moisturizers. Yes, I would take just about anything at this point. At night, it seems like when it gets worse, it's just like I sound like a car trying to start. But hopefully it's getting better. But thank you for that, Black person all my life. He says, if the Democrats or any other party isn't running those checks, I'm on the couch 2024. Yes, indeed. A lot of people talking like that. And thank you so much for the super sticker. Love it. Appreciate you for that.
And you know what, Dimitri, I saw your last clip on the African Diaspora News Channel where you were saying some really good stuff in regards to how Joe Biden should be talking about what he's going to do for Black people. Yeah, he needs to do that. But guess what? We can't elect these people on a promise. We need something deposited in our check before you get in there. All this, well, you get me in and I'll do this and I'll do that. No, we're not falling for that. You've got to show us the money. Well, wasn't there a show on that? Show me the money. Show it to me now. Now, I want it in my account. I mean, I'm not asking for the whole thing. Just give me $1,000 right now. And then the rest I expect to get once you get into office and whatever. It's kind of like, what's that street hustle? I'll give you 50 now, and then I'll give you the other 50 when
I gladly pay. Pay. What is it? Pay you Tuesday for a hamburger today.
Right? Exactly.
So we should make our theme song. I want money, lots and lots of money.
Right. The Callaways from Midnight Star. Right.
Hey, Arson.
But that's how we should be thinking, you guys. Do not listen, even at a local level. Do not listen to these politicians that talk about, well, when I get in there, I promise to do that. We've been doing that for over 100 and something years, and at least 80 with the Democratic Party, and we've gotten nothing.
Yep. Arson, how you doing? He says, I'm late, joined just a second ago. So if I get this right, in other words, Dr. Claude Anderson was right about the Black class. What could Blacks do to protect themselves now? Stop voting for nothing. But something tells me this election season is not going to be that much different. Maybe a little bit. I don't know. But I think we're going to go in there. Well, I can't just not vote because I don't want Trump to get in office. That's how they sound to me. Panther Strikes his brother and sister Donovan has been informing us that the Democratic Party are bastards of disguise. They chastise us about voting for them, but never respected quid pro quo. Hashtag couch 2024. Yes, indeed. And Willie says the red and blue conundrum at the Democratic and Republican Party. Who do I vote for? It also put the couch in there as well. Thunder says, I've always loved and found melanated sisters that spoke different languages extremely. I'm trying my best to remain a gentleman. Oh, you asked if I spoke French. Yes, I did. Oui. I told you I took French 1 and 2 and failed them both. Un, deux, trois, quatre, cinq, six. I think it's said. I forget what 8 is. No. Because I know how to say call if I needed to tell somebody call 911. No.
Let me ask you a question. Have you ever been to France or have you been to a community in the United States that is French dominated?
No.
So what good is the language?
I don't know. No.
Wait. We could use you in Haiti. They speak French there.
We. I'm bad. I'm telling you, I failed both. But you know, my teacher was so nice, Miss Young. I don't remember a lot of my teachers, but Miss Young was very nice. She also gives me compliments. She had me dress up. The students had to. They told me what to put on in French. They told me to put on a scarf. Don't ask me what it meant. I knew back then.
And the French hat.
Huh?
In the French beret.
Yeah, all of that. She's like, you look very nice in anything. And I never forgot her for saying that. But she still gave me 2 one-legged A's in both courses. Fishing with Rick, how you doing? He says, will the violence spill over in the Dominican Republic? That is the concern.
No. As a citizen of the Dominican Republic, I can tell you the borders are closed. The Dominicans have been building a wall. Isn't that interesting? They're building a wall just like Trump was doing. But the borders and the streets into Dominica have been closed. No, they can't get out of there right
now. Hello, Elosi. I hope I said that right. And Facts Not Feelings, how you doing? Well, that is the fear because, you know, Ariel Henry was trying to go up over there in the DR. He was like, you ain't coming up over here. Henry he resigned. Haiti's president, and the DR said, you no, sir. Because we know they ran you up out of there. So he's now held up in Puerto Rico. But they was like, nah, y'all too, you know, because they are on the island of Hispaniola. And so they're really close together. And they're like, nah, we don't want them to thank you over here in case barbecuing them, trying to do something to you that we don't want them to come over here looking for you. So he was denied entry.
As a matter of fact, they ended up closing the airspace coming through. So he couldn't even land anywhere in there, even if he wanted to.
Keep on trucking.
But you know, but in regards to this mass employment of them bringing these migrants in here, and here's another thing that Brother Phil talks about. Joe Biden has been flying in 30,000 migrants into these cities since you know he lifted the borders. So this is a Democratic president flying 30,000 migrants in these sanctuary cities late at night while you're sleeping. He's legalizing them by executive order, and now they're going to be legalized to work. You guys keep forgetting he legalized by executive pen 500,000 Venezuelans. We're not even talking about the 250,000 Ukrainians. I mean, what do we do at this point? What do we do?
Yeah, so I see you guys are saying John Brown, Nat Turner. I'm talking about a real, not that was real. Okay, don't mistake me. I'm talking about like when American people said, I'm sick of this. And they really just threw all the tea, you know, into the water, you know, or something like that. Because we see it all the time in other countries where they really just turn up, right? And then the government says, oh, I know what y'all heard us say, but what we meant to say was, you know what I mean? That's kind of what I mean. I'm really trying to be esoteric in my language, if you will. Pop, how you doing? I hope you're doing well. I know I am really behind, so let me catch up. Rez, how are you doing? King Azrael, what's going on with you? Panther Strike says, Queen Demetra and King Donovan, I've noticed the chatter online about the April 8th, 2024 eclipse. That was shadow Central United States. A lot of ammo is being sold along with food and water stores. So yes, that is when it's going to be a total eclipse. It's going to be dark in the daytime for about 4 minutes, complete darkness. I'd imagine maybe there's some street lights somewhere. I don't know. But yeah, it's supposed to be, maybe cause a little mayhem and mischief, if you will. So yeah, people are getting prepared in case something crazy jumps off. But that's supposed to happen in Texas, from what I understand. I'm kind of looking forward to it. But if people going to be acting crazy out there, I'm just going to look out the window. I ain't going to be outside. Oh, and Will, you say you behave on YouTube. What about on Facebook? All right, so, and Lady Diana, how you doing? Let me go ahead and skip down. And Michael, you say divide and conquer. Yes, indeed. And Marjorie says what we need to do is start a nationwide organization that pulls our dollars into building economic stability to create a cohesion platform to combat white supremacy like the Asians, Latinos, Hispanics, etc. Yeah, that's what they've been asking us to do forever. And now we get pushed into a corner, right? Like, oh, I'm pushing to the corner. You're smashing me. And then we want to start to talk about strategy. But when you're smashing, think about the nature of being, because I've been in a stampede before. Okay. When I was in Vegas on New Year's Eve, Lord have mercy. Thank God for my daddy. We was all stuck in this stampede. We was trying to make it to, the Happy New Year at the Treasure Island when it was there. And it was probably a million people for what they said there. So the police was pushing people this way, and people trying to make it to Treasure Island that way. Somehow we got stuck in the middle, and we're literally being crushed. And my dad, who even at the time probably weighed 160 pounds, but dad is not a big guy. He's like, hold on to me. And he just started throwing elbows. Wham, wham, wham. He was just knocking people out the way. And he's like, whatever you do, don't fall, because if you do, you're going to get crushed to death. Needless to say, my daddy got us up out of there. But the point that I was making is, imagine being stuffed into a corner and you're getting packed into a corner. You can't breathe, and you're trying to breathe, and then somebody's saying, while they can't breathe, hey, let's come up with a strategy of how not to be backed into this corner. It's like, man, shut up. I'm trying to survive right now. So let's not get to that point to where we're trying to survive and get air and then try to figure out strategies that we should have been listening to years ago, back in the days of Marcus Garvey, right? All right. So let's skip down. I swear I need to catch up. Then I'm going to start off. Y'all want me to open up the link for those who have not been on here? Okay. I want some new ideas, but I love the people who've been on here. Hold on a second. I'm going to make it. I'm going to make it. KP from KC5, how you doing? Yeah, I'm really behind. Y'all still talking about throat coat? Yes, Elderberry. Don't start. Elderberry and Tikoa, how you doing? He says, just keep voting Democratic Party in the White House. If Joe Biden win again, Black Americans will be lower class forever. We'll be living in tents under a bridge. Hey, I was in Los Angeles last weekend, and I already saw that. Okay. Arneba, how you doing? It says entertainers and professional athletes are paid big money to distract the masses. Yeah. We are entertained, right? Donovan,
real quick, Demetra, you did something on Ricky Smiley, and I thought that was very telling in that video. Could you kind of give us a recap of what you were saying in that video for those that didn't see it on the African Diaspora News Channel app or channel?
Because I made it last week.
Yeah, it's about Ricky Smiley when he's always talking about the black people coming to the church, and they shouldn't come to the politicians shouldn't come to the churches anymore.
Yeah. When I made that video, y'all could say, if y'all watch that video, y'all can see and say something ain't right with her, because I was like, I wasn't feeling. That's the first day that I got the flu. But nevertheless, I was saying Ricky Smiley put up on his page. He retweeted something of a guy saying white politicians stay out of black churches. And I'm like, well, why don't you have that same smoke for Joe Biden, who always have his happy tail up in a black church, with that of James Clyburn talking to black people, talking about come out and show out the vote and stuff. But see, Ricky Smiley, and I like the Ricky Smiley show because it's, as he calls it, is ignorant hilarity, right? It's stupid. And I like stupid stuff. But he's disingenuous when he posts stuff like that, because it's like, you ain't gonna never tell Joe Biden nothing like that. And he always up in a black church. So if y'all want to check that out on my African Diaspora News Channel. All right. So let's see. I'm going to skip on down. I keep saying that. Hopefully I didn't miss anybody. I see everybody. I just want to acknowledge. Well, a little French. What kind of French, French fries don't count. High Cube says U.S. economic inequality index is similar to China's, the world's highest corrupt dictatorship. Absolutely easy. Said D almost got abducted in DR, and they was gonna send her to Haiti. They sure was. They thought I was Haitian, and I'm like, while I'm flattered, I'm American. I'm from the West Coast, the best coast. What you talking about? And I think when I said that, I'm lying. I didn't say that to them, but I think when they heard that I was from America, they was like, "Oh, you get your hands off of me! Put your filthy hands on me!" That's what I was thinking. I didn't say that though, because I was scared. But yeah, me and my daughter almost got snatched up. All right, Roz, how you doing? It says, greetings, family. I'm late. I can't even talk to my friends about leaving the Dems. They all have irrational fear of Trump and Republicans. They won't even sit on the couch. Yeah, well, when they get backed into the corner, they'll think differently, right? They're gonna be like, help me. But like, nope, I tried to help you. You didn't want the help though. Let's see, 48 TCO. How you doing? Says that's what I don't get about the Dominicans. Yeah, they are special people, but that's Donovan's people though. He be all up over there. He probably about to go over there right now.
Yes, I have a voucher for $400 I got to use within a couple months. I got to head back over there because you guys remember my companion dog passed on me the day I was leaving, so I am due to go back there. I'm running for mayor of my little beach area like that, and no, I'm not running for mayor, but it's funny that you guys just brought that up because if you're a veteran, there's a thing called the Foreign Medical Program. So if you go overseas, so people think, oh, I'm just going to go overseas and get hurt, and they have universal health care in these countries, and they're going to take care of you. Yeah, they're going to patch you up, but they're also going to send a bill to the United States. So if you're a veteran and you're a member of the VA, there's a program you do. You sign up to it. No matter what country you go to and you get hurt, the Foreign Medical Program is going to cover you. Okay, so that bill is not going to come to you. It's going to go through the State Department, through the VA. It's going to be billed to your VA account, whatever it is, which means you're not going to get a bill, right? They're now offering dental service in the Foreign Medical Program. So right now they're doing teeth cleaning. So slowly but surely they're giving you benefits where you don't have to come back to the United States if you're an expat living abroad.
Yanni, if I didn't say hello to you, hello. What they doing with the cats? Well, what's going on with the cats?
Well, you know that saying, when a bunch of Asians move into the neighborhood, the cats are missing. The squirrels, yeah, stuff like that. Yeah.
Is that a cuisine of Haitians?
What, the
cats?
No, but when the nuclear thing kicks off, you'll be surprised at what you eat.
Oh, wait.
Matter of fact, when I was in SEER school, the first thing the instructor told us was, if you could eat that, you could eat anything.
Well, she said immigrants, not Haitians. I misread that, but immigrants. So they cats is missing though.
Well, Louisiana has so many rodents and things running around. But again, I want you guys to think about it. It's a mind thing. If you're eating your lady, you could eat anything.
You say, I'm not on Facebook. Mike, you said maybe a clone. Are you on Facebook? I'm going to look and see if I can find you. Fishing Rick says, don't know if this is true, but someone said that the path of the last eclipse and the path of the one in April make a perfect X over the United States. I ain't heard that, but what was that X? Like it's a target or something? Because they say, I saw the one that happened not too long ago. I was walking into the bank. I didn't have any glasses, and the security guard, he had on some of those, glasses that you can see the eclipse. And I was trying to look. He goes, you want to use my glasses? I said, yeah. And I looked and it was awesome. It was amazing. So if that X is like crossing in Texas, should I be going back to California? Just asking. Sydney, how you doing? Says, how did people know? How did people not know they were going to fire all the workers and hire the immigrants? I saw that coming from the beginning. All these women saying they don't need a man. You will soon. Listen, brother, I ain't one of them that say I don't need no man. I need a man, baby. I'm not one of those sisters that's I don't need a man. Because I tell you all the time, I think about having
you need a man. But go ahead.
I talk about it all the time. When I have to drag the trash cans out to the curb every Monday and Thursday, and make sure the yard get done. I do have a black man doing the yard. I will say that, and any other thing that I need to be done. A couple of weeks, last week, I needed to, spray around the house because it's going to be hot and make sure no bugs and stuff. I didn't do it, but I had to show my daughter how to do it. And I thought, it would have been nice to see a man glistening doing that. Shh. How was that, baby? Oh, you missed a spot, but I think that's good. So I'm just saying. King Shaw, how you doing? Says we need to protest Tyson Foods and not but none of their products. Yeah, they have a lot of products. And some of that stuff you shouldn't be eating no way is processed, like chicken nuggets and stuff like that.
Yeah, but why should we protest Tyson Food? Don't we have representatives that could go there and put more pressure directly by using our representatives? That's what they're there for. Think about this right now, you guys. See, and this is how far gone, especially Black people, we are. And Brother Phil talked about this. Again, African Diaspora News Channel app or channel. Think about this. If the legislators wanted to make a law that made rent control and say, you cannot do this above this so many times, they can do it. They can do it. We don't need to protest anything. We just got to get these people that we elect, our elected servants, to do their damn jobs and look out for the American people. Right now, if they wanted to go out there and say rent in the United States for a 1-bedroom apartment could be no more than $600, they can do it. Why are we always trying to deal with corporations that don't give a damn about you because, they're not paying you? They could care less what you got to say. They don't know you. But what do they listen to? Power and influence. Where is that? In the Congress and the House. Why can't we make them do it? Why are we doing their jobs? I'm just saying.
Yeah, that's what we send them there for. But they gotten comfortable, fat as rats, ingratiating themselves with all the benefits and stuff, talking about I'm 85 years old and I'm running again for a 99th term, and we don't go vote them out. So that's kind of the problem too. And Buck Horse says, question, does anybody know how many Black-owned banks and credit unions there are in the United States? 22. And I'm a member of One United. One United is in Los Angeles. You can also bank with them online. So yeah, there's 22. There used to be a lot more, but not so much anymore. Just for your information. All right. Thunder says, I can't stress enough to get ready a family stock up. And if you want budget-friendly options, look at the Dollar Tree or Dollar General and hit up the food pantries. Get ready, family. Oh, yes. You better get ready because it will be a time where you won't be able to go in the refrigerator and say, I don't see anything in here. Let's go get us a nice, juicy steak. You're going to have to, be digging in the backyard for some herbs. Not the ones you planted for recreational purposes either.
Right. And real quick, can I borrow, I kind of jumped to you. I don't know if I'm behind you or in front of you. Can I borrow a feeling says the illegal Latinos, their landed relatives have a chant. Today we are marching, tomorrow we vote. See, but here's the thing with that. Can I borrow a feeling? Here's the thing. The illegal Latinos that are coming here is not the issue. It's not. Because guess what? In 5 or 6 years, they're going to have a court date and they're going to say, hey, I came here for this. Oh, and they're going to be booted out of here. There's no political problems going on in Venezuela or whatever. Economics is not a good reason to stay here. So they're going to lose their court case and the United States government's going to say, get the hell out of here. That's not good enough, right? But here's the problem. In 5 or 6 years, what do you think they're doing while they're waiting for their court case? They're having children. So guess what? In 5 or 6 years, even though I have no legitimate case to be here, by what I initially signed up for, I now have an anchor baby. The children are going to be the problem because they're going to outnumber our children, and we will have no political power in the United States.
Hey, JJ, how you doing? It says American government so sleazy they backdoor the bill to you. Right. The other thing too is they have always been saying that. That's not a secret. They've been saying they're going to do that for years because most of this country, a lot of it anyway, belonged to them anyway. So they said that they were going to come over here, overpopulate and take it back. And that's what they're doing. It's strategic. Can you really be mad at them? They have their babies. They're not letting them put, Planned Parenthood and all up in their communities and unduly influencing them to get rid of their babies and all that other stuff. They man and woman know how to stay together. Humberto probably ain't feeling Guadalupe like that, as much. She done lost her girly shape. Now she look like a potato. Those aren't my words. Those are Donovan's words. Look like a potato, but he said, you know what? You the potato I'm rocking with. We finna build a nation, gal. We gonna build a nation. We gonna have all these children. We gonna make all these businesses, and we gonna wash, rinse, repeat. We gonna bring more people over here, and we gonna have even more babies, and we gonna take this back. We gonna overpopulate California, if I'm not mistaken. Is most of the population is Hispanic, and so it wasn't that way when I was a kid. It wasn't that way, but now it's that way. Now it's going to be that way all over the United States. But I don't know why we're mad at them. We as Black people could be doing the same thing. But you know what? We don't like the Black woman. We don't like the Black man. We ain't having our children. We too busy, talking about Sexy Red. Sexy Red is a small part of the problem. If you ask me, I don't even really think she's a part of the problem at all. because she got a paymaster, but we spent time talking about her and not organizing, not trying to figure out where the next Black business is, where we need to build it. Let's get our money together and all this other stuff. We too busy arguing about stupidness. I swear for God, every time I see a podcast pop up on any one of my timelines, I just scroll right past it. And a lot of times I just delete it because I'm like, enough. Y'all ever see that Pee-wee's Big Adventure where he was going off to find his bike, right? He's going off to find his bike and he's on the train with the hobo. That's what he was, a hobo. And so when Pee-wee Herman got on the rode the train with the hobo, he's going to Hollywood to find his bike. And so the hobo is singing and Pee-wee, they're singing all these songs together, right? So after a while, Pee-wee's like, okay, all right, that's enough. So then the hobo, they're both sitting off the edge of the train, right? And the hobo scene starts going, Jimmy Crack corn and I don't care. And Pee-wee's like, ah! And he hops off the train. He was like, enough. That's me when I see podcasts of people talking about dividing Black people. So enough of and stop being mad at the Hispanic because they're doing what they're supposed to be doing. It's us that fall for the okie doke, the banana in the tailpipe, and stuff that don't matter. And then this is the sadistic part. We're going to watch who see our asses to the voting booth and vote for the people who are bringing them over here. That's sickness. It is.
And then again, you look at what the Hispanics are doing. The average Hispanic girl here in California that I've seen, at least in my community, 19 years old, they already have 2 kids. Sometimes even 3, right? But you got to remember, California was a part of Mexico. Texas was a part of Mexico. Arizona was a part of Mexico. So on, so on, so forth. Utah was a part of Mexico. They're taking their country back. This is why I say about the Haitians. Don't run from the problem. Solve the problem. That's what we got to do, solve the problem. And Demetra, so that was you that left my podcast.
I'm just saying, I cannot. It's just like nails to a chalkboard to me when I hear Black men and women, well, you know, the Black man and the Black woman. Shut up. You're 3 years old. What do you know about a relationship? You up here talking to them like you've been, you glow to Dean and Melvin, like you've been in a relationship for 60 years and you just espousing all this advice. Where your man at? Where your woman at? What kind of relationship you been in that you can even impart wisdom and knowledge on people? And shame on the people that's listening to that nonsense. You got great grandmamas, mamas, daddies, uncles, neighbors and stuff that could talk to you about relationships. You don't need to listen to these wet behind the ear people on these internet, you know, faking like they know every god doggone thing. They don't. So yes, I anything that's dividing Black people, I automatically just tune it out because I'm tired of it. Please.
Okay, now that I know that, could you join my podcast again? Because it's you and another person. That's it. That's all I got.
you come talking right. You come talking right. The Factor, how you doing? Says boycott any Tyson food produce product. I think it meant Trump 2024. Yeah, that boycott seemed like it's getting a lot of steam. So you say it won't run through Texas? I hope not, because if it do, just let me know. I'll get on the first thing smoking Spirit, of course, back to California. You know what I mean? And then when the X clears and I come back, you know. I thought it said the DK, the instructions for the radio are on in my chat before. Okay. So you put it in here before. All right. And Will says, are you urging me to do Facebook? I mean, I don't know. I thought everybody had a Facebook, but if you don't know, there's no need to. It's nothing but just drama and nonsense on there. I envy you. I really do. Anybody that doesn't have any social media, I envy you. Honestly, I do.
Well, you know, the funny thing is I'm weaning myself off social media. On the weekends, I try to get on social media other than the podcast here, but I really don't look at it during the weekends. And it's like, you know, it's getting so much of a hindrance to me that it's messing with my quality of life of, like, you know, just enjoying life. I'm just stuck to the phone. And it's like, I just want to do that anymore.
Yeah, just put it down. Like when I'm working, I don't hardly ever pick up my phone. You know what? My phone doesn't ring anymore. Shout out to Jodeci. It don't. My phone rarely rings. It does. And I rarely get any text messages or anything like that. And I'm grateful for that. I'm glad that I'm not, you know, my phone ain't ringing on. During the week, it does. When I'm like doing business and things like that, I'm helping people, it does. But for the most part, it's not really. My phone is dry. And then you say, woo, child. I like that name. How you doing? It says, well, I think Neil deGrasse Tyson said the asteroids will be here on April 13th anyway. April 13th is my birthday. So that would be a horrible day for the world to end. You know, on your birthday and your death date too. My God. And welcome to the chat, by the way. Let me just skip down. Keep saying I'm going to open up this link. Arnie says the representatives don't represent the people. They represent big money. You better believe it. Marjorie says it's the lobbyists and the gifts. Yeah, that's what they represent. King Shaw says he must got stocks in Tyson Food. Who? Yanni, you say, but they will listen to that money. You better believe it. Small Island, how you doing? Says we need to start boycotting. Don't you know how much can be achieved that alone? Why can't we use our own power? Yeah, I mean, I'm not against it. It's just not something I don't really partake in Tyson like that. I don't think at all, really. So I guess I'm kind of already doing it. I guess it's good to be in lockstep. I won't start doing it. But we could really boycott by not voting for the people who are doing those things. I mean, just like with the TikTok ban that was voted in by the House, it needs to go through the Senate, and Joe Biden said he will sign it. TikTok has, if the ban goes all the way through, of course, it needs to go to the Supreme Court and all that, and they're going to argue freedom of speech, and that probably won't fly. So it's really just a bunch of kabuki theater, if you ask me. But you can always vote those people out. You know what I mean? Those people's making a decision, because the TikTok ban is going to infringe upon a lot of people's money. There's a lot of people make money on TikTok, you know, corporations. So it's a big thing. And we really know why they're doing it. We won't say it here because we just won't. Maybe at another time we can have that conversation. But you can strike a mighty blow, but just not voting those people in or voting them out. You know what I mean? But the thing is this too: if we as Black people are going to boycott against Tyson, and I don't know how many Black people actually work at Tyson. I'd imagine it's probably a few. But can we boycott things that directly affect our community? You know what I'm saying? That's the only part I hate, is that we get so gung-ho to get lockstep with people who don't look like us that are being affected by something. But when it comes to us that are we're affected by a whole lot of things. And we talk about a boycott, but we don't do it. But let them good old folks get involved. Let's do it. And I'm in. You know, not saying it's about you, Small Island, but I'm just saying in general. And Willie says, right, like asking to control plastic, while plastic in every grocery bag. And then see Michael, it says Dimitri Donovan, not only rent control at the federal level, but also both local and state level. Yeah, everywhere. Rent control. I mean, I was on TikTok today, and some lady was saying her whole neighborhood, people are moving because it sounds like I don't know if it's a condominium, whatever it was, but they raised the rents like $250, $300, and people are just moving out. She said there was she pointed to so many vacancies in her neighborhood because people aren't wanting to pay that much of an increase. You know, people are barely being able to afford what they got, let alone a $200-$300 increase. That's greed. It is.
And speaking of the rent increases and all that other stuff, in the local news, African Diaspora News Channel, it's like I'm telling you guys, that's where I get a lot of my information. Joe Biden or Eric Adams and Chicago, they are starting to kick the migrants out now. And the mayor of New York, he has used his executive orders and said, enough, I'm done with it. And he's starting to evict these migrants out. Now, the question is, if you evict them out into the streets, and I mean, New York itself is already congested city, what's going to happen? See, and that's the thing. Where are these people going to go? I mean, but again, here are politicians that have the power to supersede laws by executive order if they want to do it. And we got to hold the politicians that look like us more responsible in regards to our interests than, I don't expect Pete Wilson, he was the governor of California, to look out for Black interests. Okay. Black, white Republican. I don't expect that. But when I see a Black politician, I would hope and expect that he would, because that's where he comes to get his votes, doesn't he?
Yes, indeed. An A-Boss High Pocket says reparations is a long-term fight. Even if we get the check, they will purposely delay it. But we have current knock-knock issues that require our immediate attention. Name one, right?
Yeah. But that's the thing, though. B-side, that's the thing. Is it really about us, or is it about what we're going to leave for our children? Do you guys realize right now, your grandchildren, if you're of my age, Dimitri, you're only 25, so you haven't, you started young, but still. But when you're about my age, they're saying that the millennials will not be able to purchase the American dream. They can rent it. So even if they give me a down payment now, I'm looking out for the future generation. See, the baby boomers are the most selfish generation of this country's history because they don't care about the next generations after them. If Social Security, if them getting their Social Security is such a crime and is not right, shouldn't that be for everybody that pays into Social Security? But notice they only worry about their Social Security. And so for us, we need to look out for our children down the road. I want a better future for them, not to leave them in some systematic hellhole to where they can't climb out.
Tammy, how you doing? I ain't seen that. Doesn't, well, I don't want to say surprise me. I think I would be surprised if I saw that on the side of a sidewalk or whatever it was. No, I haven't seen that video. Is it on Twitter? I don't go on Twitter much because that is a violent place. Oh my God. When I log on to Twitter, I'm literally like this, like, afraid that I'm going to see something that's going to be traumatizing. It's like, when Elon took over Twitter, people just are, posting anything. When Jack Dorsey was at the helm of Twitter, there was some controls in place to where you couldn't just post anything. But now I've seen the most heinous things on there. I visit Twitter if I'm looking for content. That's it.
Yeah, well, it's heinous, and then it's sexual. People are, putting themselves out there. It's terrible. It's terrible.
Yeah, I'm glad to hear that, Will. Yeah, it is horrible. Yes, Fishing with Rick, Large March from Pee Wee. Yeah, I'm telling you, Pee Wee Herman was one of my favorite things and people to watch. I hated what they Hollywood did to him. He died, I think it was last year. But yeah, that boy, was some countless hours of just chuckling it up, watching Pee Wee's Big Adventure, Pee Wee under the Big Top. Oh my God.
The best scene in Pee Wee movie that I saw in the first movie was when he finished coming out of the bar and he got on that motorcycle and he wiped out. That was the best scene ever.
Man, and then they had the Pee Wee Herman dance. What was the name of that group? The rap group.
I need to talk about. I can't remember who it is.
Zariah, how you doing? Says I feel the same way. The gender wars been going on with no resolution for too long. Yeah, and that's all by design. And we just oh, today we not liking black women. Yeah, black women are horrible. Yeah, black men, they're terrible too. And it's like nobody else arguing back and forth with a man and woman. I see we got looks like people from Venezuela and Puerto Ricans in here. They they talk about they don't dislike they women and all that other stuff. See, that goes to show you too. Other communities are watching the degradation that's going on in our communities, and we proud of that. We proud to be arguing with our black man and woman. I'm going out to get me another woman from a different country, and you got some, people in here from other countries. They're like, don't bring your rusty behind over here all up in our women. We don't want y'all in our women. Okay, go to America and get along with your woman. Stop trying to come over here and exact your terrible ways on our women. If you can't get along with your woman, what makes you think you're coming over here to get along with our woman?
And because your women are traditional and they're lovely, they're fit, friendly, all that other good stuff. And wait, but real quick though, Cardi B just said she's not a feminist anymore. What are y'all ladies gonna do? These women are jumping ship left and right. They're saying you guys are delusional. Even Cardi B has come out and said that. It's delusional.
Cool. Oh, so now Cardi B is the spokeswoman?
Well, I'm not saying she's a spokeswoman, but she is an influencer. She is an influencer, and she's saying it is delusional. She's not a feminist anymore. It is delusional to say that you can't work with your man.
Cardi B, don't speak for me, okay? Nagli, you use Cardi B as a reference. She don't speak for me. All of a sudden, we listening to Cardi B.
I didn't say that. No, I didn't say she speaks for you. I'm saying Cardi B, who has a lot of influence. That has led a lot of these stray girls talking about WAP. And I mean, even Maxine Waters was talking about WAP. You know what I mean? She's saying, basically, Cardi B was saying, it's entertainment. This is not real. You need each other. You need your man. You need to do these things. You need to build together. That's what she's saying. But then again, her culture is from the Dominican Republic. So again, it could be a little bit of that. I don't know.
We must have died and gone to hell. I never thought a day would come that Donovan would use Cardi B as a reference. As listen to Cardi B.
I didn't say listen. I just said, here's a woman that has a lot of influence on our young girls, and she's trying to get it right. She said, I am not a feminist anymore. That came out of her words. Google it on YouTube or whatever. You can see the clip. I was shocked when I saw that.
But I just saw her release a video of her rolling her wop around.
Yeah.
So,
but that's what I'm saying. If you look at this new video, she's saying that's entertainment. That's entertainment. And that's what we're trying to tell people in the United States. We got to stop confusing entertainment with what's going on in our real lives. We got to stop it. We need each other. Yeah, it's ain't nothing going on but the rent. That's a great song. Does it have some applications and some meanings? Absolutely it does. But at the end of the day, we still need each other. Yes, man, you should have a job, if you want to get with her or whatever the deal is. Yes, absolutely. But in general, color purple, all black men ain't a mister. You know what I mean? And so on, so forth. That's basically what she said. She said she's tired of it. She's done with it.
Okay, WAP. Cardi B. Seen her butthole naked. And she talking about, don't ever mind what you see. Listen to what I'm talking about. Shut up. Now, how about that? Tell Cardi B, I said, shut your mouth and your WAP. Shut up. Gina, how you doing? Hope you're doing well. Never mind the cuckoo stuff that you see going on right now. We're at the end of our thing here. We tend to lose it. Chicago News. You said, did you ever mention the 1970 memorandum to President Nixon about financing Hispanic, Asian, white Koreans because the Black Power movement? We have not mentioned it. I am familiar with it, but there's a lot of things that have gone on into what we see now. So obviously it wasn't just it with the Biden administration. It was in the making, if you will. So good point. Small Island says it's like we have no fight. I'm sorry. Says we are depending on political promises. We've not learned anything about these people. I totally agree with you. Right? Come on, Aniba. We won't even boycott Christmas. The Nation of Islam been asking us to boycott Christmas forever. That's kind of how I got on the scene, right? Out of video, they went viral. And I was talking about boycotting Christmas, and I got the message from the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. And yet, Negroes are the biggest consumers at Christmas. Out there shopping and buying all kind of stuff. They talking about, I ain't got it. Oh, I don't know how to pay my rent, but you had it during Christmas. Won't even boycott giving a white man more of your money. But we want to boycott chicken and easy. I think you said it. We boycotting chicken. Y'all know ain't no negress breathing in the United States boycotting no chicken. I don't know. I could be wrong, and I might be. Miss Sweet talks, and if I didn't already, how you doing? It says rental prices are ridiculous. They are, Easy says, don't buy Tyson, but when you go to restaurants ordering chicken, where do you think it's coming from? I bet you either Tyson or Purdue. Yeah, Tyson does supply a lot of restaurants their meat. Not even just chicken, but other, meat. Pork, I guess. Don't eat that, no way. Fisher Rick says Purdue is just as good as Tyson and no antibiotics. And W. Penn Korea, how you doing? It says, I learned this story from watching Red Supreme's channel. Okay. I never heard of that channel. And Buck Horsey says, I smell boycott is coming. Judge Dredge, he says, I used to buy them, but they too high now. Yeah, it's been a long time since I don't even know when the next time I even buy some Tyson chicken, anything. Willie says, I make machines. I'm a machinist. Are you really? What kind of machines you making? Michael says, Dimitri and Donovan, why not just focus on local and state issues? Because both of you understand the federal inaction is pointless. Yeah, we should focus on that. Donovan focuses on it.
Yeah, well, the problem is not everybody's state and local issues are the same. See, so like I said, this is why they try to regulate the internet, because now for the very first time, we are talking as one people across the nation versus being regional. That's why you got like South Carolinians as poor as those people are that are brainwashed under a fish fry to vote for Jimbo Clyburn. Now, because people are talking, your Roland Martins and all these, the Boulay and stuff, that they don't have that power that they do, because people are like, what the hell is this stuff? But what happens in California is totally different than what happens in Texas and Atlanta. You know, we have the different regions, so our issues are a little bit different as we do that. But nationally, where does most of the big money come from? The money trickles down federally. I'll give you a better example. The 1995 crime bill. What does that bill do? It incentivizes the states to lock up as many people as they can into these private prisons and jail in general, and the federal government will match them dollar for dollar. That incentivizes them incarcerating people. The national child support system, where's that money coming from? Almost the same exact situation. They will match dollar for dollar for every dollar that these states can recoup in child support and state services. So, you know, we can't take our ball off of that, because even though our local elections is what affects us directly, indirectly, a lot of our money goes to the federal government. How much do you spend in federal taxes? Now, me, in my adult life, I think I've only got a federal tax return back maybe 4 times. 4 times. I always get mad when tax time comes because everybody's getting something back. I don't get nothing. But that tells me I'm balling too. So I'm making too much money where I don't need to, you know, I write a check. But anyway, but my point is, federally, that's what people mostly pay attention to. Because like I said, I don't give a damn what's going on in Atlanta. I really don't, because I live over here. But nationally, we all pay attention to the presidential election. And it's sad because they can tell you what's going on in the presidential election and who the candidates are, but they can't even tell you who their alderman is or who their city council member is in their own city.
Psyops, thank you so much for the donation. I'm gonna come back to your comment just a second. Hold that thought. New Dawn Arises. How you doing? Thank you so much for the donation. It says reparations, although great to have now. Is this the one that you spoke to? Says our fight is for our grandchildren and their future, like our ancestors did for us. But we get back to this. I'm just gonna set it and forget it. It says black men dating our women is why they getting replaced. So he says, notice how he says our women, okay? Probably some of the women, y'all using y'all little passports. Give a passport and I'm living here. The women that y'all going over there to get all up in, his women, he said our women. This is why y'all getting replaced, because y'all focusing on everybody else's woman, but y'all own. Y'all giving y'all money via your little passport to everybody else's woman, but your own. And then you have the audacity to sit up here and talk about the state of Black America when you're giving your black ass dollars to everybody else's woman. I'm just gonna leave it. I said I wasn't gonna say much else. I was just gonna say that. I said
that's right, black man. Why should you be happy?
This man right here is telling you, psyops. I'm gonna interpret. This ain't probably a word, but I'm gonna use it anyway. I'm gonna interpretate you. He said, "Stay your black ass away from our women." Period. Okay. Back to regular scheduled program. WP says, I'm Dominican and I love my Dominican women and my Latinos in general, all color. So W, let me ask you, how you feel about Black American men going over there and treating y'all women like a trampoline? How y'all feel about that? If y'all don't mind me asking y'all, I'm curious. If women are going over there doing it too, how do y'all feel about other people going over there and treating your women like a trampoline for a couple of dollars? I'm just asking. And I hope I wasn't being disrespectful.
I'm going to say this. You said black men, American men, because the white guys are over there, right?
American men.
American men.
American men, okay? But I only know black men who do it. But I'm just saying.
When you were over there, you saw us fellowshipping, hugging each other, loving on each other, praying together. They hate to see us happy, fellas. They hate to see it.
That ain't what I saw. I saw y'all women, I seen your women sitting on the laps of mostly black men. Now I seen some white men over there. It was mostly Demetra, mostly saw black men. Okay, I'm not saying maybe the white ones, it was a little too hot during the day because that was the only time that I was out during the day. So maybe it was too hot for them during the day. They didn't want to turn the color like a lobster. So maybe they came out at night, like a roach. I don't know, or whatever. But I saw predominantly black men, and your women were sitting on their laps. That's what I saw.
They got to get that money. Like I said, I mean, see, I love the way my good friend Demetra, she convolutes the issue because there's no difference. Sex work is sex work, ladies. And I know you guys don't agree with me, but if you have an OnlyPage fan, you're a sex worker. If you're stripping at the club, you're a sex worker. If you're walking the blade, you're a sex worker. So it doesn't matter. Sex work is sex work. So if they're doing it, y'all doing it too.
Hey, who is y'all you talk about? First of all, okay.
I'm just saying, American women are doing it too. So it is what it is.
Ain't none of you suckers got enough money for me to be on nobody blade, okay? If I'm gonna be on the blade, I'm getting mortgages, cars. I'm getting.
Wasn't the movie Bassinet made after you?
I'm getting racks in the middle, okay? Shout out to Nipsey. I'm getting racks in the middle, okay? I'm not getting either someday y'all drop it in their hand and the jingle. There you go, sweetheart. Thank you so much for a good time. No, I don't know who this y'all is. Judge Dredd, you said Hispanics stay tricking with black women. I listen, I know there's some sisters that's going abroad and, spending their little hard-earned money too, for something strange. I just ain't one of them, okay? But I'm asking y'all that's on here. How y'all feel about that either way? Women, men, whoever, going over there, treating your men and women like trampolines. Just asking.
Right. And again, my question is, if you're doing sex work over here and they're doing sex work over there, what's the difference?
Who is doing sex work over here? So first of all, hold up. Sex work over here, more than likely, depending on where you're at, is not legal, okay?
No, it isn't. But
right.
no, that ain't what I'm saying. That ain't what I'm saying. What I'm saying is we can't be turning our nose up at other countries or whatever for what they're doing when we're doing pretty much the exact same thing. That's what I'm saying. It's hypocritical. That's what I'm saying.
What's hypocritical is y'all taking it. So we doing the same thing over here and they doing it over there. Why y'all taking money out of the black community or whatever community you in to go over there and treat their women like a trampoline? Stay here and treat these women like trampolines.
Okay, wait. I have you want to hear an answer for that? And I'm going to use your exact words. We have a right to take our money and spend it where we want to spend it, period.
You absolutely do have the right to do that. That is your right. Simone says, a woman that come on, sis. A woman that publicly fights with her black husband. Nah, Cardi ain't right. So now we listening to Cardi is the beacon of telling women what to do. Cardi can't tell me where to get a cold cup of water in the Mojave Desert in the 100-degree weather. Okay, I wouldn't trust her to do that. Let alone tell me, because I ain't no feminist, never have, will, and never will be. Never. Dave, how you doing? And we love you too, baby. We love you too. Easy says Maxine and WAP don't go together. She said it's the audacity of WAP. She got a DOP. She in her 80s. It's probably a DOP by now, I'd imagine. Don't quote me. Okay, let's see. Let me skip down. Common Man, how you doing? Says, made it, I'm late. I didn't know you guys were up today. How you doing, Demetra, K, and Donovan? Yeah, I'm doing much better. Yesterday, not so much, but today, miracles taking place. I could talk without coughing. All right, so let me skip down. Joski Love, yes. That was the one that did Pee Wee Herman song. You know what, Pop? I ain't finna talk about Cardi B's daughter. She's a beautiful little young thing. We ain't gonna talk about people cheering. We not gonna do it. How did Cardi get Rap Album of the Year, child? And you asking the wrong person. Chicago News says exactly Cardi B's disrespect black women for years, and all of a sudden she the beacon of hope. Me Sweet Talks said I need and want a good man with character, morals, values, and dignity. Yeah.
Let me speak on that Cardi B thing real quick. Now, What I said was, I didn't say she didn't get pushback. I mean, the sisters are coming for her straight out. A lot of women are just dogging her out right now. So if you guys get a chance, go see that video. It's amazing.
Yeah, I mean, I don't follow Cardi B like that. And Side says light-skinned women like Cardi B is a reason for racism. Do tell. Do tell. Fisher Rick says, as a boomer, I have to disagree with that. We are selfish generation that I'm seeing everywhere. I'm not selfish, but as a retiree, I want every goddamn penny that I paid into it. I hear you on that.
Absolutely.
Of course, we don't deal with absolutes, so we're not saying all baby. I'm not saying that. That's not something.
Yeah, it's not an absolute thing, but you got to ask yourself, and I answered him in the chat, but you got to ask yourself this: if this ain't selfish, we are prompt to elect 80-year-old presidents. The average age of Congress is 62. You tell me if that is not selfish. Most other countries, their elected leaders are younger. As a matter of fact, I'm Generation X. Leadership is basically going to skip over my generation. The average time a person or a group of people are in power is about 20 years. The baby boomers have been in power since Clinton. Clinton came in office in 1993. You tell me if that's not selfish. You got to let the other people lead. That is why there is such a big divide in how the baby boomers think with working for yourself, putting yourself up by the bootstraps, whatever you're taught. And you've got the millennials that are like free. Do you see the gap there? Now, whose fault is that? The condition of this country right now, whose fault is it? You can't say it's Generation X. You can't say it's Generation Y. There's only been one group that's been in power for almost 40 years now.
It's everybody's fault. It's not just the baby. This is my opinion.
Yeah, we know
it's my opinion. It's everybody's fault. Baby boomers, yeah, they had a lot of say so as to how we are, where we are now. But the millennials, Gen Z, X, whoever came after them, are they showing up to the polls? Are they getting them out? Why is it that Jim Clyburn is still in office when Marcel Dixon was running? Why didn't his peer group or his age group, his generation, go and show up for him? Because the baby boomers went and they showed up for who they like. So at one hand, let me finish.
Go ahead.
On one hand, we blame the baby boomers for the condition of the economy or whatever whatever we got going on here. But then the other hand, when I say we don't show up like they do. It is a known fact that the older people vote more than the younger people. Those are facts. So we can't be, that's like I said, you're mad at the people are mad at Hispanics or immigrants for coming over here, but you're not mad at the people who voted for the Democrats that are in office that opened the borders. So it's like we mad at the baby boomers for going to vote for things that are of interest to them, but then we don't show up to get James' old decrepit self up out of office, Maxine, and anybody else. We, during local and state elections, we stay home. And then when they get back in office, why they back in office? The baby boomers, because the baby boomers went and voted their interests. It's not hard to follow, but we convolute it and make it worse than it is. I am never one of those people to put the full blame on one entity or person. Everybody has the blame. If you don't want the baby boomers in that mug, then take your ass to the polls and vote for Marcel Dixon or somebody, a Nina Turner or somebody else who's young that's trying to get in there and do maybe what you want. I'm just saying.
Right. No, I agree with you. But again, I'm going to have to say this. When the game is rigged, it's rigged. We send these people in there. They keep talking about, well, you get me in there, I'll get term limits. They get in there, no term limits. They say the biggest thing is wrong in politics is money in politics. Then they're in there. They've got the votes. They do nothing. The Democrats haven't done anything. Women's rights. Democrats have plenty of time to protect women's rights. They don't do it. What I'm saying is the game is rigged, and it's about self-preservation for themselves. And that's an individual thing. That's not necessarily a generational thing. It's an individual thing, because you do have some people that are trying to get stuff done. But the thing is, though, in our community, they homestead in their positions. You can't get nothing done. You've done everything you possibly could, but you want to stay there anyway. Thus, you get a Jim Clyburn, you get a Maxine Waters, you get this, you get that, you get that. Why not just say, you know what? Like the Kenny Rogers song, you know when to hold them, know when to fold them, you leave. Like me being in the military. That's why the military has such a high turnover. We need new energy. You can't keep the same old war horses in there. It's not going to work because they have the same old ideas. That's why you've got to, refresh your coffers and let the younger people come up and do what they've got to do. You can't sit in that position forever, or it's not going to work, and you're going to end up screwing things up. So it's not everybody, but I get what you're saying.
Yeah, like James Brown said, I don't need you to open the door. I don't need you to do nothing for me. Open the door and I get in there and get it myself. That point being, yeah, we talk about the baby boomers. Oh, you know that we elect them because they say they're gonna go into office. Hell, some of those mugs been in office 50,000 terms. So did you need a 50,000 in one term for them to finally prove to you they're not gonna do what they're supposed to do? That's why I don't buy that argument, because James Clyburn has been in there 30 years. It's Sheila Jackson Lee, 30-something years. Maxine Waters probably going on 40 years. So how much longer do you need to see that they're not going to do nothing for you? The baby boomers are getting what they deem to be necessary from their peer group. They are getting what they want. It's the younger people that won't go and show up because, let's do some math, the baby boomers and Maxine Waters, and y'all see I'm reaching way back there. Maxine Waters and them, they're the silent generation. That's before the baby boomers, and they still in power. Do the math. Are there more of them around, or is it more of us around and younger? It's more of us. So to keep saying that the baby boomers in office won't and they can't, no, we won't show up and we won't unseat them. That is, it's a numbers game. It's not a feelings game. It's a numbers game.
I agree with you wholeheartedly, but I disagree, because just like I'm a recovering Democrat, how did I realize what I was doing was wrong? Because I was born and bred to be a Democrat, like most Black people are born and bred. So you can't do what you don't know. Remember that video of that one kid where he voted for Trump or something? His mom was in the car talking about, he gave the vote to such and such, and I told this boy. It's something that we're taught, and we're brainwashed to do that. And like I said, I'm not trying to make excuses. I'm just trying to tell you what it is. When you are indoctrinated to do what it is you do, like I said, Black people overwhelmingly vote Democrat. Why do they do that? Because they're taught to do it, and they don't know any better. You've got to come to a rebel, and we're starting to do it now. Thank God, people are starting to break away, and they're seeing it in real time. This is now where you're going to break away. But when you've been taught from a generation that fought for those civil rights, that they fought very hard for themselves and for the, for the families and stuff like that, you think everything is good and there's no problem. I got Black faces in high places, but we realize having that isn't enough to get things done. So yeah, I agree with you. But again, you can only do what it is you're taught until you see something different, and you go with that. You could have all the numbers in the world. We have all the numbers in the world right now.
So whose fault is it that you're not you, I'm saying in general, are ignorant? Is it the baby boomers' fault that you are ignorant and won't learn better? Because when you ignorant, it's because a couple things. You don't know better and you don't want to know better. So is it the baby boomers' fault that you were ignorant, that you won't go get other information and say, I go outside, I drive on the streets, there's potholes, it F's up my car, my community is unsafe, we don't have reparations, we watch them do it for everybody else. Is it their fault that you're ignorant?
Yes, it is their fault. And I'll tell you how. Because I became politically aware because my mother taught me to be politically aware. It was taught at home. We don't teach this stuff at home. We just teach, hey, go Democrat, vote Democrat, go to the slot, go to the church. They give you the whole Democratic slot. They don't even tell you about the Republican candidate. It is something that is taught. Now you're asking me, this is my answer. Like I just told you, for me, I was taught politics. We don't teach politics even in the schools. We don't teach the civics as deep as we should be teaching so people know their rights. We don't do that. I know we disagree on this, but the fact is, if you don't know better, you won't do better. We know this stuff. So yes, I do blame them, because you did not teach your children to vote responsibly. An ignorant voter is a dangerous voter, and thus Black people are now at a situation to we are in dire straits right now.
As I say, you could quote me on this. With Google being free, you should not be ignorant, at the very least, okay? And in my opinion, it's just me. I'm not going to blame My daddy's generation, my daddy's actually a silent generation by 1 year. Okay. I ain't gonna blame my mama's generation. I'm 52 years old, finna be 53. And the last thing I'm gonna do is continue to blame my parents and my grandparents for me not knowing. It is up to me to know. They taught us what they knew, what they thought was best. Then it's up to us to learn better. Well, so when you leave the house, you just stop learning. You don't learn nothing else. I'm just my mom and daddy taught me everything I need to know in the house, and I'm gonna go out into the world and not learn nothing else outside of what my mom and daddy told me. That ain't how it works. You can't evolve if you don't learn. So again, in my opinion, we're not gonna keep blaming the baby boomers for the state of our community. It's some of their fault, but we bear some of that blame too. It's just true. So anyway,
so where's our disagreement? Exactly.
Terrell, how you doing? Says they need to push all these senior citizens out of office. We need more people in their 50s and mid 60s. They're making it harder for the young people to adapt once they reach office. Yeah, and I mean, I'm in my 50s. We're too old to be in office now. It should be my daughter's generation. She's in her 30s. It should be their time to shine. You know, because you think about, you got Sheila Jackson Lee and Jim Clyburn trying to, put old ways, the technology, and ways of thinking we gonna do it like we did back in the day before we had Blackberries. They don't have Blackberries no more, right? When Jim Clyburn got in office, they strung a cans together and put a note on a pigeon and flew it over there to the West Wing and waited for a response with a message in a bottle. And they're still trying to, run office that way. Yeah, they gotta go. It's time for them to go. I mean, just keep it real. Okay, so in Common Man, you say it's because everybody that after that last generation baby boomer voted for their missing fathers and grandparents. Yeah. Okay. Kara said there are more baby boomers though. The problem is they are only valuing their own interests, and it's to the detriment of the rest of the generation behind them. The baby boomers are to blame.
Yeah, I disagree with that number. That used to be the case, but when you put all the generations behind them, the baby boomers are not the majority generation anymore because they're losing people every day. So they're not as big as they were back in the day. And like I said, and then the ones that are, some of them, you got to think about this. Some of them that are still here, they're not in their right mind. So they're not voting either. So they're just not counting the ones that are gone. They're also counting the ones that are incapacitated. So they're not the biggest group anymore.
Black America, thank you so much. It says Dixon had a horrible look, dreads, and a stupid hat. Listen, I ain't saying none of that. I mean, I think the brother was spot on. With what he was trying to do. I told y'all, if y'all know the brother, tell him, reach out to me, put me on the team. That's what I do. I help people appear verbally and visually more appealing, right? So I'm not necessarily saying nothing about the hat and the dreads, but there are things that he can do to come off a little bit more appealing to a voter base, right? Definitely not get into the mud with some of the language that has gone forth on Twitter. You want to be seen more as a candidate and not somebody that's squabbing on Twitter. I don't know. Let's see here. And I agree with y'all. The baby boomers, they do got to go. But who gonna make them go? Who gonna vote them out? Who? Marcos, how you doing? Says blame Obama. You crazy. Let's see. Just skip it on down. Skip it on just 2C and 2E's. How you doing? He says, you can always unlearn behavior. Yeah, you can. Salute to you. Stay woke. Hope you're doing well. Okay, Marcos, you're going to keep on saying it's Oprah's fault too. Got you. Chicago News, he says blacks are going to have to split in respect of power, black power crowd, political black crowd. The black criminals gonna have to let these blacks live all win in 10 years. Okay. Yeah, easy. It is selective ignorance. You need to learn some stuff on your own, right? Alfonso, how you doing? He says, no, the silent generation, black clergy leadership sold out what worked about black American culture. Yeah, you got to remember too, the silent generation, and before them, I think it was the greatest generation. And before that one, I forget the name of that one. But they were closer to the plantation. So, of course, they still had those ways, especially the preachers, right? Telling the congregation what the white man wanted to know. And if you think about it, it's kind of like that in church today. Now, I ain't been in church in a long time. But the last couple times I was there, it was reminiscent of, just get along, go along to get along type of stuff, right? So yeah, I get it. Um, Judge Dredge says baby boomer took all the affirmative action jobs and won't let the youth in. Um, well, I mean, if you know anything about affirmative action, you know that it didn't really benefit black people anyway. It benefited white women. So did they take all of, and even to think about it, just think about what you said. Baby boomers, silent generation, if they took the jobs, was you even old enough to get the jobs? Let's just use some logic here. You probably were a kid and weren't able to get that job. So we got to be careful of the things that we say. They took all the jobs. That you wouldn't have been able to work there. No way.
Well, I'll give you an example. And your average logical thinker probably understands this as well. And if you were in the military, you kind of understand this as well. They have these jobs and they'll make it. Like a lot of baby boomers, especially from our culture, they got opportunities. It's all about opportunity. They got the opportunity to get in the job. You needed just a high school diploma. The same exact job. Now you might need a master's degree, but the people that had it before, they're grandfathered in, right? And I remember being in the military where my superiors didn't even know how to use a computer. As an officer, we were supposed to have admin. They got rid of the admin people, the younger people that knew how to do the stuff, right? Do our typing and stuff. They said, now you do it yourself. My commanders and people above me, they couldn't do it, but they got to keep the job. See, and that's where the disconnect is kind of do it. They've made it to where they've pulled up that ladder and said, everybody else fend for yourself. And that's the problem. And we all agree it is time for them to move on and become chairman of the board or advisors or whatever. But when you've got 80-year-old presidents, we're electing 80-year-old presidents. We have a problem. And the average age of Congress is about 62 years old. We have a problem in the United States.
Yeah, Alfonso, you says Black America lived the same 140 years as conservative Southern Baptist people. Civil rights sold out Black male leadership for progressive perspective and what worked about Black culture. Got you. Chris King, how you doing? Long time no see. Says, preach. That's the mistake I made. I stopped learning. Yeah, we always learn. You should be learning until you close your eyes for good, right? You stop learning, you stop evolving. You don't want to be an unevolved person. That's a sad human being, a person who just will not and cannot evolve. They're stuck, Well, it's very sad.
And another good thing about this, like if you guys notice on this show, Demetra and I, we're usually not necessarily opposed to each other, but we come from different perspectives, right? That's another way you learn. Like I said, she's not going to convince me. I'm not going to convince her. I'm not going to try to convince her. I'm just going to say what I need to say. And we leave it at that. But you can learn from that and you can pick and choose. Like I said, I'm sitting here in the comments with some of you guys. Kiera Rant says, there are more baby boomers, though. The problem is they are only valuing their interests and it's to the detriment of the rest of the generations behind them. The baby boomers are to blame. I agree with you, but I like the way that you put that statement because that's way better said than what I said.
Which one? I'm sorry. Which comment was that?
Yeah, it's Kiera Rant's. It's a little lower under Michael's thing. Sure, I'll just copy and paste it back in, and you can put.
Wait, hold on. Let me see.
But I love the way she put that. It encompasses the whole problem because they do value their interests. If cutting Social Security is so bad for them, like I said at the top of the show, why wouldn't it be bad for anybody else that put into Social Security? But they're not prioritizing everybody else behind them. They're only prioritizing themselves. And we're not talking about all of them because you've got some baby boomers that get it and understand. Like I said, I'm not fighting for reparations for me. I might not get it, but I want what is due to my family. So I'm thinking about my grandkids down the road. The baby boomers are about to pass on. Do you guys realize in the white community, you're looking at almost $13 trillion of wealth about to be passed on to their next generations? It is estimated that Black people will have far significantly less wealth being passed down to their descendants.
Brother Sammy, how you doing? It says, is the election machine so locked up and corrupt that no matter what generation gets in, it wouldn't matter? Also, how do we youth lost knowledge of the community of the struggle? How do we? I'm having a hard time understanding your last part, but I don't know about those machines. I've heard, but I don't know for sure. But you do make a good point, by the way. And how you doing it, Ellie? How you doing? It says once our people got the vote, they didn't care after. Okay. And let me just skip down. I'm almost to the bottom, and I can start over. And you know what? I'll open the link. We got about. Oh no, we don't have no more time. Good Lord. Uh, Curly Girl says these old people keep this BS going. They don't want to change for the better. Okay. And then Rez, he says, need ongoing outreach to Black neighborhoods, arrange at examples, churches, community centers to educate and keep people, keep us informed of what's going on politically. Great funded position. Yeah, you can have think tanks and things that disperse information as well. But, you can also go look it up for yourself. That's the problem that we have too. If it's not given to us, then we won't know, right? And how do you know that a lot of the information that is given to you is correct? That's why I said a lot of times people are memicated. They're educated on memes and things that they see on the internet. But how do you know it's even true? Just because it's on the internet is not true, regardless of what Abraham Lincoln said. Okay, that don't mean it's true. So yeah, we have to get good at getting in the books. And I was having this conversation with somebody the other day. There's a problem with the younger people is when I say younger, I mean like under the baby boomers, right? We don't study history. We don't get in the books. I'm talking about hard books. I'm not talking about you just saw something on the internet and then you just ran off preaching it like it's the gospel. I'm talking about, did you go do some research yourself? Did you open up a book, read it, take a highlighter? I got highlighters everywhere because I got books everywhere, right? I'm reading several books at a time. Lord help me. But are we reading and we getting information so we can have something to compare it to? We don't do that as this generation. We're waiting like a bird with his mouth open for somebody to drop some information in it instead of finding out for yourself. Like I listen to a lot of talk radio. When I'm in the car, is what I listen to, talk radio, because I can listen to music in my house and stuff. But when I'm riding in the car, I like to listen to talk radio so I can see what's going on in the world. And so if it's something I find of interest or I'm not sure about, I'll go when I get spare time and I'll go look it up and all that kind of stuff. But gone are the days of you waiting for people to educate you. Nope. You got to educate yourself.
And when I use that analogy that my mom continued to educate me and my mom and I are ideologically opposed. Again, I talked to my mom. She's a lifelong Democrat, whatever. Hey, she finally, I'm not saying she gets it, whatever, because she probably still votes a certain way. But the point is now she realizes she's been like wasting her time throwing her vote away because I kept talking to her about it. She's put me on a path to say, you should vote your interest. You should vote your wallet. You should vote your community. You should be going to city council meetings. All of this stuff, that my mom told me to do. I never saw her do it. But the point is she instilled it in me. And I continue to do that. And I tell my children, I tell my friends, I tell people, this is what we should do. This is what we talk about. That's how we educate ourselves. But unfortunately, in our community, we get comfortable. We got it. We're doing this. We're doing that. And we just go about it. And that's something that is taught in the community, the mediocrity, What's that on your nose?
It's my necklace. I'm getting loopy.
Yeah, I thought I'm thinking, was something wrong with my screen or something? What's going on? But that's the thing in our community. We become comfortable in a better situation, and that's what happened in the 70s and the 80s. Oh, we're going to, we integrated schools. Oh, we're doing this. Oh, I can shop with the white man. I can do this. Oh, I can, we had more freedom to do more stuff and move around. We got comfortable, and that being lulled into that sense of comfortableness has made us lazy in the fact that we instead of watching who was supposed to be looking out for us, we didn't hold them accountable. And now we're in a worse situation.
Yeah. And Rick, I don't blame you. As you know, you've heard me up here. I think it's everybody's fault. I'm not saying that it's the boomers' fault. I'm not one of those, and I never have been and never will be, because there's no absolutes. And if you deal in logic, you know that it could not be just the baby boomers' fault. But I come from a upbringing of, I was obviously born into the Nation of Islam. My father has been in the Nation of Islam since he was 19 years old. He's still that way. He's 80 years old, and we've been taught to study, to research. My dad and my mom, both great thinkers, and they raised my siblings and I to think, to question, right? to line it up. If it doesn't make sense mathematically, then it don't make sense, right? We were not taught to be emotional people. Let me take this off my face. I know that look crazy. We weren't taught to be emotional people. And when I say emotional, I mean, thinking emotion. I know that's an oxymoron, but there's a lot of people who think that they're thinking. They're not thinking. They're actually emotional, and they are not able to make a sound decision because they're too, well, I heard, and that's not how I feel, and I feel. No, line it up mathematically. And I'm not talking about just numbers. I'm talking about mentally. If it don't line up, then it don't make sense. But unfortunately, in this society, because people are so emotional, well, my emotions tell me this is what it is. And then when you try to have a logical conversation with that person, it's like talking to a brick wall because their emotions won't allow them to be logical. So yeah, that's kind of how I was brought up. So y'all can thank my mom and my dad and my stepfather for me. Now, that might not be a good thing for some people. All right, let me go on down to the bottom. I'm sorry that we did not have a time to open up the link, and we just kind of got away from us. Hello, it's B. How you doing? Hope you are doing well. And David says the problem with this generation is they have information at their fingertips. You want to know something, you Google it. The journey of learning is so important. It shapes you as a person. Yeah, why would you need somebody else to do your thinking, to tell you where to go think? Now sit your ass down sometimes and think about something. If it baffles you, think about it and then figure out where you go to be unbaffled. It's that simple. But again, we live in a society where people are memicated, right? The meme said it, and it must be true. And then they're going to argue tooth and nail. And it's like, oh my God, shut up. But you don't want to say that because it's rude.
Yeah, and you got to remember the internet for the public is only about 30 years old. It's only 30 years old. So when we were young people, we had to go to the library and research it, or you picked up the newspaper and you read it. Remember back in school, current events? How many of you guys remember that? You used to have to think about current events. What is going on in the world? Now, within the last 30 years, and even in the 30 years, AOL doesn't even count because that dial-up shit wasn't working. You couldn't really look up stuff because you got so frustrated by the time it dialed up to know what your speed was. So let's just say 20 years where the Google is really a good thing and it's a good search engine, right? So in the last 20 years, so I would have been about 30 something years old, 34 years old. I'll be 34. I'll be 54 this year. So I'll be 30. So I was 34 years old when the internet was really a good place to get information. So when we're talking about, oh, go back and research it, I was taught politics and how to think by my parents before all of that existed. And it's unfortunate a lot of us are taught a certain way. So I'm not making excuses. I'm just saying you got to look at it for its full contents. You just can't say 20 years of the internet, go look it up and you're going to change the way you were taught overnight. It doesn't happen overnight. At least I don't know anybody that you teach them something that happens overnight. I went to boot camp and I'm telling you, it doesn't happen overnight. It takes drill. You got to get used to it.
I mean, I could tell you a lot of people who've learned a lot of stuff overnight. These children nowadays are built differently. Judge Reggie says, my dad always
kids. I'm talking about our generation. That's what I was talking about. But go ahead. Sorry.
I learned, trust me, the stuff that I learned, I do 10 videos a Sunday. And trust me, I learned like that. I could give you the rundown on Haiti. And it took me 15 minutes to learn, what I did in my video from beginning to end. So I'm just one of those people. I'm a fast learner. But Judge Dredd, you say, and I'm 52. I'm going to be 53. You said, my dad always said, being smart won't put a dime in your pocket. Where he hear that from? I'm just asking. I'm just asking where he heard that from. Brother Samuel saying, oops. He says, I meant the youth have been separated. Okay, got it from the community of the struggle and thus easily manipulated. Wouldn't this just create another disappointment, separation? Yeah, you're right. They have been created from the struggle, right? They've been the generation of here. I don't want to make anything hard for you here. I just don't want you to struggle here. Instead of teaching them, and they always say that the first generation of millionaires rarely make a second because the first generation had to struggle and go through some very adverse things. And they don't want their children to do it. So they don't teach them to get in the mud and get it like they did it. Not to struggle necessarily, but here, sit down. I want y'all to learn what I know. I tell you all the time. In fact, last Sunday when I was sick in my bed, I asked my daughter, I said, do you want to do the show with Donovan today? She says, let me think about it. You know why? I was dead serious. She was dead serious because I know she could sit here and chop it up with y'all just like me, because I'm not going to be doing this and not teach my child how to do it. That's the problem. We don't teach our children what we know in case something happened to us. But other communities, I'm not saying we don't necessarily, but other communities, they're good at that. You know, if you go to their like a Mexican meat market, you see them and their children working. They think their kids want to be smelling that stanky, rotten flesh up in there. No, but they keeping the money in house because we're not gonna hire nobody else to come up here. This money is going in the family. You need to learn how to gut these pigs and clean the chitlins for the black people when they come here and they eat the doodoo shoots or whatever.
But here's the thing. If Demetra's daughter ever came on and did the show, all you would see is me and her arguing back and forth.
And she would let you see. I'm nice. My daughter be like, listen. She would mute Donovan's mic. Now, as I was saying, I don't know about all of that, but I'm saying you're supposed to teach your children what you know, right? Hello, Conscious. How you doing? Willie says, just tell me you love me, Demetra. I love you. I love you dearly. And at Chicago, he says, yep, I know. So blacks got the high paying jobs, thought they could eat at fancy restaurants and get disrespected and still want to eat. Ooh, what you talking about, brother? What you talking about? Yahawashi return. I hope I said that right. How you doing? Says they're just trying to do that so no one will call them out on their boogie fool. They're poisoning us with I won't eat Tyson anymore. You know what? You make a good point. What they doing to that chicken, right? What they probably been doing to it. Precious, if I didn't already, how you doing? It says only this tribe will take all of this insult added to injury and still think voting is their God. You better tell them. I'm about to say lace front. Lance Flex 63. How you doing? Says a great doctor, Francis Quest Welsing said growing up, she was taught to get a higher education to come back to help pull others and make the community strong, not abandon it. Yeah, that was also part of like the talented 10th theory. The talented 10th of our community was supposed to go out and get education, come back and teach the rest of the 90%, but instead they went off, got them a white woman, a man, moved into a gated community and said, forget you, you know. So yeah, that absolutely. Jeffo, how you doing? What's up? And Hood Review Politics, how you doing? Says, I'm confused. You want black people to vote Republican? I want black people to vote their better interests, whether it's Republican not, Republican, whatever it is, Democrats, whatever it is, vote your interest. Don't just be beholden to one party because black people are expected to vote as a block against our better interests. Nobody else is expected to do that. So if a Republican is going to get the job done, then get a Republican in there. You want to continue to live in the state that you're living in? Or do you want somebody coming there and do a better job? That's really the question.
Yeah, well, can I ask you a question, Demetra? Why is it that when people like Phil Scott, yourself, Vicky Dillard, and so on, and you guys are saying a narrative that, and I'm not trying to be disrespectful or anything like that, but they come back and say, oh, you must be a Republican. What if we are? But we're not. But what if we were? That I don't understand when they come back. Well, Republican, but do you guys see the brainwashing? We're born and bred to be Democrats. We don't think outside of that. It's like going to a church. If you're a Baptist, you're going to be a Baptist. You know, it's really hard for you to go jump into another religion, right? Like I'm a Catholic. It's hard for me to jump into another religion because that's what I believe. We are born to believe in Democrat. And so whenever I hear somebody that bring up a Republican, what did we say in regards to anybody going to vote for Republican? I never said that. Did you say that, Demetra? Be a Republican, vote for Republican. So how do we get the narrative? That's, you know, and that's
the
for
narrative,
me.
The narrative is because black people are expected to be Democrat. And if you're not, you don't vote Democrat, then you're a sellout. You're this, you're that. You like, you know, all the derogatory names you can think of you are. But if you have democracy, democracy means you have a say-so and you can vote the way you want, right? Where does it say anywhere written that black people must vote for the Democrats? See, we need to unlearn that. We should be able to vote for who we want. If you can write in a vote, you should be able to vote for Jimmy the Cricket if you want to. If you can write that in, that's your right. And the woke.
See, but right there, that expert proves what I was saying about how we're just blinders on. That's it. Democrat. Oh, you ain't voting Democrat, you're a black person. Oh, you must be a Republican. Oh, you must be a Trumpster. We didn't say anything about that. We're just saying, hey, we've been doing this. Why don't we do this and see what happens?
Yeah, the wall breaker. He says, "How you doing? By the way, what does it mean separated from the community? The continuity of the struggle, continuity rather. I'm sorry, of the struggle. Basically, it means that we have stopped teaching our children what we did to get it. Does that make any sense? So not necessarily the struggle, but a lot of kids don't even have to take out the trash, do the laundry, the dishes, or none of that kind of stuff. They just lay on their ass all day, watch TV, and play on their phone. And if you ask them to do something, I got to do it. But when we was coming up, I wish you would fix your mouth and say, "Well, I got to do something." You was gonna be picking up all 32 of your TVs.
How many of you guys remember being at the playground down the street and your parents would call you, your mom or your dad, talk about turn the TV?
Yeah, that's the struggle, But yeah, so kids nowadays they're not expected to do nothing. I'll tell you right now, I'm 52 years old. I remember my routine when I was coming up. If I wanted to go out on Saturday, you get your ass up early, you turn on Soul Train, but you was cleaning up the house and doing the yard work for it, and then you got ready, and then your mom and dad made sure you did all you got to do. You got your little allowance, was $5, and trust me, $5 would take you to the mall, to the Castle Park, and back home again. Okay, you did all of that, but let you not do your chores, and we had to go to church on Sunday. And for whatever reason, if we didn't get up to go to church, guess what was off the menu next weekend? Don't you fix your mouth, because you're going to be around this house. You're not going anywhere. So we had expectations. But children nowadays, they get all the stuff. And then when they act bad as hell, I have a very derogatory name for them. I'm not going to use it. But when they act bad, then you want to say, I don't understand why they're so bad and why they don't listen, because you ain't never made them have to do nothing. I don't want to say suffer, but they don't know what it is to have a consequence because you never gave them expectations. That's what I think he means. And my brother learned how to fix cars because my dad is a mechanic. My brother would tell you, remember being 5 years old, going to the shop with my dad, learning how to fix cars. So my dad taught him what he knows. But we don't do that nowadays. Just sit home under the air conditioning while your mom and daddy go to work all day. You sit up in Jordans that you ain't gonna play no basketball in, and you playing video games, and you eating up all the Zuzus and Wham Whams out the refrigerator, not getting no physical fitness, not doing anything. You got your nails, your little girls got the nails and the hair done, and they junior high, ain't busting a sweat, doing nothing. And they don't even know what mom and daddy going out there to do to get the damn money to do any of that. They just sitting home looking cute.
You know what's crazy? When I was coming up, my mom used to throw us out the house. Not that we had a lot in our room, but I see some kids, that's not a punishment, making them go to their room when they get home. They have everything, the phone, the TV, everything is in there. My mom used to throw us out of the house.
Yeah, go outside. Now, we used to get in trouble for not coming in the house. These kids, I want to go outside. We used to come in smelling like outside. Remember, we used to smell like outside.
You had your school clothes, and then you had your play clothes.
You better not be playing in your school clothes. Get out them clothes when you come home. You was going to get an ass whooping for that one. You could believe that. Well, we got an ass whooping for a lot of stuff, didn't we? Breathing too long in the wrong spot. All kind of. Your astrological thinker, he says, you can't negate the power of influence and the power of numbers. Two things can be true. Dimitri and Don, as long as we fight together for the best outcome of our people. Well said. I totally believe, and I agree with you. Hood View Politics says you said you was a Republican, though. Who's you? Who? I'm gonna turn my name to Woody the Owl. Who said that? Breaker, he says it's because you aren't allowed to. You're supposed to be monolithic. They're taught that way, emotions first. Right. That's what we were taught as Black people. It's supposed to be as one, right? Except for when it comes to group economics. Don't be as one at that. Easy says, I'm sick of seeing Dems marching in Selma. That part of the condition. Yes, the 58th, 9th anniversary of the.
Yeah, did you see Jesse Jackson in his wheelchair going? It's the symbolism. It's the symbolism. It's like, stop it.
I just want you to know you going to hell for that. You going to hell.
I'm just saying, it's what does that do for us as a people? It makes you feel good. Oh, yeah, it's history. And, we should remember it. Absolutely. But the thing is, we have so many more important battles ahead. So many more impacted now. We got a black woman vice president who figures abortion rights is so important to women that there's been more that the Democrats didn't codify women's rights in all the time that they've had power. 2 years under the Biden administration, 2 years under Biden's administration. Now, all of a sudden, in an election where they're behind, oh, women's rights is on the table. Is that supposed to motivate? Is that supposed to motivate us? If we've been 14% of the population since the 1960s, the last thing that we should be worried about, Black people, is not procreating. And I mean procreating responsibly. Okay, let me say that.
Conjunction, junction, what's your function? Yes. I'm just a bill on Capitol Hill. Oh, you bringing back some memories. I might lay down tonight and watch some of those Schoolhouse Rock. They was trying to teach you something. We learned a little something, didn't we? The stuff they watching nowadays, I'm not so sure.
When you get a chance, go down to Marco Chaz. He says 70% of Black Americans are not from slave ancestors.
He said, "What now?"
He says 70% of Black Americans are not from slave ancestors. What are your facts, Marco Chaz?
Okay, let me get down to
that. Would be like saying 100% of Hispanics aren't from Spanish ancestry.
Marco, hey, Steven, how you doing? He said it was the same for me. We cleaned the backyard, front yard, and other chores before we left the house, run the streets. Oh, yeah, that was a must. It was priorities over playing, right?
Have your ass in the house by the time the lights came on.
You better believe it. It was going to be some ass whooping going on.
See, but that ass whipping back then, which was socially acceptable, would be considered what today? Child abuse.
Yeah. Like I said, a lot of them ass whoopings I didn't deserve. Han Daddy, I know you watching, Daddy. My dad probably whooped me. I honestly only remember my dad whooping me once. Yeah. And I'll never forget the day. It was the 3rd of September. That was the day that my daddy walked down the street in his 3-piece suit with a handful of switches.
It's mostly to get your sister.
My sister and my brother, I just got caught up in the crossfire. They was acting bad. I wasn't acting bad. I did something I wasn't supposed to do that day. Did it deserve an ass whooping? Yeah, probably. But I think that's the only time my dad whooped me. So, but my brother and sister, yeah, they got their asses whooped. They deserved it. But anyway.
Yeah, I'm going to say this. Judge Dredd says the boomers did drugs in the 60s and 70s and locked up the kids for doing it too. They are hypocrites, and they changed the child support system. I will agree with you that the 60s, the baby boomers was the start of the counterculture. That was the very first generation that went against tradition that had been since the country was incepted. So they're very transformative. I'm not saying that they didn't put their thing on, whatever, to give them their flowers. They did what they had to do in their time. But the problem is it's no longer their time. It's our time. And it's not even my time. It's my kids' time. And they're still having say-so. That's where I have a problem with the baby boomers. They still are trying to have a say-so when it's not their time anymore.
Yes, indeed. Y'all, I'm bringing back some memories of those ass whoopings you got. The man, I tell you. Whew, Donovan, I know you got your ass whooped. Your mom looked like she could whoop some ass.
Actually, my mom couldn't whip ass. My mom's a small woman, whatever the deal is. But what my mom did, knowing she had 2 boys and we were going to get bigger than her and stuff like that, what she did, and by the way, my mother was a widow. She wasn't a single mom. She was a widow. Let me clarify that. What she did was she whipped our ass when we were younger, right? So as we got older, all she had to do was give us a look. And that's how really it should be. You should be able to, discipline your kids when they're 4 and 5 in that young age to where they understand what's going on. And then as they get older, you shouldn't have to put a hand on them. You shouldn't have to put a hand on them.
Will you say me and my bros will put comic books in our behind waiting for the whip. Nah, yeah. We didn't do, I don't even know if I ever got whooped on my butt. We got whooped everywhere else, in your legs, your thighs, and your arms. It's like, my God, all right already. I always hurt my feelings more than anything. I'm like, I don't know why. I don't deserve to be whooped. What did I do? Like, it would hurt my feelings, right? But yeah, boy, I tell you, I don't wish an ass woman that I've got nobody. And let's see here. I'm something I was gonna say, but I forgot.
Old age is hitting up to you. It's getting late.
Yeah, well, you have to walk into a room and then you'd be like,
all the time. I gotta walk out and then and get a deja vu flashback what I went in there for. Yeah, we're of that age. I'm telling you, this is the problem. If I'm thinking I'm too old and we're fighting over 80-year-old presidents, come on now, you guys. Come on, something's wrong. But we've been here for half an hour, so Dimitri, go ahead and see what you can do and close it out there. I knew you were freezing up. I know. See, at 50, in your 50s, you're freezing up. Mitch McConnell finally decided, the longest reigning senator in leadership, he finally decides to step down. Why does it take heart attacks and major medical issues, outright death, for these people to leave? Don't you love your family enough to spend time with them in your last days? I mean, come on, this is ridiculous.
Yes, indeed. So that we reawoken the trauma in y'all from those ass whoopings you've gotten. Hopefully you can sleep better tonight, or you can forget that and leave those all behind you. And if you can't, I do apologize. Me personally, I'll probably take just a little bit more NyQuil tonight, just to make sure that I have a good night's sleep. How you doing, Sound Black Man? I hope all is well. Yes. And I said hello to Mr. Recovery. I was like, what, you recovery? Donovan, you recover? But I forgot you're the recovering Democrat. I thought you something else you was recovering from. Throat coat.
Yep. Here she comes. Marcos Chaz, again, reparations will cause reparations, whatever he was saying, repercussions, I think is what he meant. And see, this is when you hear these Black Democrats that are always caping for these other groups, this is how they pay you back. And like I said, Marcus, you're free to have your opinion and stuff. But see, if it wasn't for Black people, a lot of Hispanics wouldn't be getting the benefits that they're getting while they're getting them. It was Black people that opened the doors and the affirmative action and all this stuff. But see, this is how these people think about you, and this is how they pay you back. We want reparations. They're silent, or they don't want us to get it. And I'm assuming, with the last name Chaz, you're of Hispanic or Latin descent. This is how they pay us back. That's why I never believed there was a Black and brown coalition. I never believed that bullshit, because it's bullshit. Because I live right here in California, and let me tell you, they don't want nothing to do with Black people. They hire their own, they keep their own, they do for their own, and that's how it is. So the people that live in the Midwest and all that other stuff, you're going to find out how these people move very, very soon.
It's weird because I don't see a Marcus on here. Weird. I don't see him.
Marcos Chaz.
Oh. I don't think I see
Marcos. These people, but he's speaking for his people. They don't want us to have reparations, but you got these Black bootlicks running around here talking about, oh, let the migrants in. Oh, we're the greatest country in the world. Oh, give them this, give them housing, give them food. But look at how they pay us back.
Yeah, I don't see Marcos on here. It's funny.
Yeah, he's on here. Look at how they pay us back. I want you guys to see that in real time. If you're in the chat, you see it in real time. See it in real time. This is how they feel about it. They get under Democratic policy. They love coming under the Democratic policy. Half of them start voting Republican. And I'm not mad at them for doing what they're doing. But I want you guys to see these other groups. It's not just the Hispanics. The Asians do it too. They got a crime bill under our vote. under our vote. But George Floyd gets killed. How many Asians did you see come out? And there were some. I'm talking about the national level. How many Asian senators and representatives did you see come out and speak up? Absolutely none. When a Black person is talking about getting certain things, how many Hispanic representatives do you see standing with the few Black Democrats that are talking about the issue? You Negroes need to wake up about these other groups. We are out here on our own. And I don't give a damn if you like it or not. The truth hurts. It hurts.
Yeah, I don't see him on here. So for whatever reason, from my end on this thing, I can't see him. So that, yeah, I was like, who is Marcos? Because I have not seen his comments at all. It's good to know though. And will you say work tomorrow? I listen, every day that I've been sick, I have worked. And every day I was like, I'm going to lay down, I'm not going to do nothing. And I have not had a day to where I've done nothing. I have worked every day.
Look at the bottom of the chat. I put his thing in there.
Yeah, I don't see him. That's funny. Yeah, that's odd. I don't know why I can't see him, but maybe you guys all can see him. Yeah, Black and Brown Coalition never has, never will be. Of course, a lot of the presidents of LULAC, that's the Organization for Latino People, have said, I'm not, hold on, I'll tell you exactly what they said, because I saved them on my phone. Let me see if I can find them real quick. Because, like you said, Donovan, we are under this illusion that there is some sort of a Black and Brown alliance. We are. They're not. They're very clear that there's not one. They'll use us to get to what they need. But as far as aligning with them, they have said that they're not interested in doing that. Okay, so this particular guy here, let me see if I can find the other one. It says John Herrera, the LULAC president in 1952. He says Latin Americans of Mexican descent belong to the Caucasian race and are therefore white. Okay, let me find the other one. I think I saved it on here. I forget his name, but hopefully I have it on here. Let's see if I can find it real quick. Oh, here it is. He says, y'all can't see it, but he was the president in 1956 to 1960 of LULAC, Felix Tijerina. He says, let the Negro fight his own battles. His problems are not mine. I do not want to align with him. Okay. Those are the brown people that you guys saying that there's this Black and Brown alliance. He has said, we don't want to align with you guys. What are you guys talking about? We have no interest in aligning with you because you think about that, like, we don't need y'all for nothing. We got our own machine well-oiled, running smoothly. We getting everything we want. Hell, we came in here and got the things that y'all been asking for years. We walked on across the border via the help of y'all voting in Joe Biden and Kamala Harris. We walked in here and got all the stuff that y'all been wanting. So what else do we really need y'all for other than continue voting for more of nothing for yourself and more of everything for us? So this Black and Brown alliance, and as there's been said a long time ago, Marcus Garvey, Honorable Elijah Muhammad, Farrakhan, it says in the fall of America here, Honorable Elijah Muhammad said, even with our African brothers and sisters, we understand the plight that they're going through, but we still must help ourselves here. Black Americans here in America, we must help ourselves first. We cannot help anybody else. So we want to talk about a brown alliance. Oh, let's get together with the brown people. We want to help each other, blah, blah, blah. Nah, they saving they burning house first and last. We need to do the same. Our house is almost in embers, smoldering embers, right? And we always talk about when they're going to go link arms with somebody else and we're going to go help them, help themselves. And then they look back and say, sucker, you helped us and we ain't going to help you. What we're going to do is help some more of our people come over here, set up, and they can get more of the stuff that y'all keep voting for us, right? So knock it off. That's not to say that we don't have brown friends. I got a lot of brown friends. Hell, I'm from Southern California. Shoot, I went to school with a lot of brown people. I tell y'all the story all the time about my brown friend by the name of Esther, her and her Chola homegirls, the sisters, as I always say, and I hate to say it, but nobody hates a Black woman like a Black woman. I've known that all my life, ever since I was in junior high, elementary, high school. The sisters made it a point to let me know they did not like my Black ass for no reason at all. They did not like me, made my whole 9th grade year pure hell. They did everything but put their hands on me. They tortured me verbally, emotionally, mentally. And my homegirl, Esther, was a chola. I met her the year before when I worked at the youth program. Me and her at the park. We became very, very good friends. And she was a year older than me. And she went to the same school. And she would see the sisters messing with me at lunch break. And I wasn't afraid of them, but it's like, damn, I'm kind of outnumbered here. My brother would try, to talk about leave my sister-in-law, and they didn't care. And my friend Esther, she says, why don't black girls always messing with you? And I told her, I said, I don't know. They just, they were jealous.
Junk in the trunk.
Whatever. But I guess they were jealous, but they didn't know I had a summer job. So my hair, I paid for that. My nails, my clothes, I paid for all that. I didn't come with a silver spoon in my mouth. But even if I did, it didn't give them the right to mess with me. But my friend Esther, so after I told her, she says, oh, yeah, okay. Well, if the next time I see him, then I'm going to say something. I said, oh, okay, not really tripping. So the next time they was messing with me at lunch break, Esther and her chola homegirls, it was probably 10 of them. She was kind of like their leader. And she went up to the sisters and said, why y'all messing with Demetra? Why do y'all keep messing with her? Do you know those sisters didn't say a word? And Esther says, if I see you messing with her again, y'all going to have to deal with us. And guess what never happened again? They never messed with me again. So I always tell that story of my friend Esther because she is a brown Latina woman that could have gone on with her chola homegirls and said, well, shit, Demetra, she black, we friends, but that ain't my problem. But she stuck her neck out when it was the sisters that made my whole 9th grade year hell. So while I don't believe in a black or brown alliance, I do believe that we do have friends, especially on an individual basis. My good friend Yasmin, she gave me a job. I had a master's degree after I got out of my marriage. I didn't have a job. She had a house cleaning job. She says, you come work for me and you can keep all but $10 of the money you make because I know that you're struggling. She's a Mexican. And she helped me get on my feet. I'm just telling y'all those stories because I don't believe in talking bad about brown people, but I'll never say that there's a black and brown alliance. So I'm just putting that out there. So anyway, I'm going to get out of here. How you doing, B-Love? Hope you're doing well. Get out of here before I start coughing and busting a sweat. Anyway, we'll be back on Tuesday with our podcast and our live feed. We'll probably continue talking about politics because this is very important that we get an understanding of what we're facing here coming up in November. But in the meantime, you guys, please have a great rest of your evening and please do your best not to get sick. Peace.